Well, the Aggies will be kicking off. The 12th man unit will be kicking off. James Rouse, number 35, you saw a moment ago. He will be the man in the single deep position back on the goal line. He'll be flanked by Barry Foster and also by Tony Holmes. As the Aggie fans waving their 12th man towels in the stands as we get set to get this very big football game underway.
Well, this has got all the excitement of a bowl game right now.
Well, it very well could determine what bowl game the Arkansas Razorbacks attend. If they win this one, they still are alive in that battle for the Cotton Bowl, depending on what happens with the other teams in ensuing weeks. The Aggies, of course, have 3 conference games left, including this one, and they've got to win them all.
Well, Arkansas has been the bridesmaid for quite a while. Can they become the bride today, Greg?
A lot of pressure on the Arkansas players and coaches because they came into the season really a very healthy pick to win the conference, and while they may still win the conference, they perhaps haven't dominated it as some of their fans and maybe some neutral people thought they would.
It's interesting how hard it is to do it when you're supposed to do it.
Absolutely. All right, we're just about set to get this football game finally underway. Lane Talbot will be kicking off, number 4. And they have to hold the football because of the wind. It's a kick coming down to Rouse in the end zone, and he will let it go as the kickoff had the wind behind it, and there will be no return. Well, Ken Hatfield has had a lot of publicity this week about trying to decide who's going to be the quarterback. He's had a lot of injured players, but he says they're all banged up and ready to go.
They're going to go. They're going to play. They'll do all that they can. They're certainly not at full strength, and we have not been all season. But both of them were able to get some practice time in, and they'll be as effective as their abilities allow. They're both tough. They're great leaders and competitors, and I'm glad they're here, and I'm glad they're in the shape they are.
Greg Thomas gets the start, gives it to Rouse, who looks for a hole and finds Little up to about the 22-yard line.
Well, they came out and lined up in the I formation, Greg. Normally they'll line up in what they call their flex bone and take off with a wishbone, but this was an I formation.
They ran it a little bit last week as we take a look at the lineup starting on the offensive line. Sammy O'Brien and Terry Price combined on that tackle. It is second down, and we'll call it a long 8. Now out of the wishbone. Rouse runs out of bounds, and he has the first down at the 31-yard line. Kip Corrington, first team All-Southwest Conference last year, coming up from his safety spot, but a little too late, and it's a first down for Arkansas.
Well, it's really interesting, Greg. I talked to R.C. Slocum down on the field there before the ball game, and the number one concern, he said, was keeping Rouse from getting outside. He felt like the fullbacks would make some yardage inside, but they had to keep Rouse from making yardage to the outside. On the first test, they failed.
Ball on the 31-yard line, first down. Little conference on the far sideline with the markers, it looks like. They had not marked the ball in position yet on the far side. Now we're going to see Arkansas come up to the line of scrimmage. Greg Thomas, James Rouse, Joe Johnson, Sammy Van Dyke. In the wishbone. Almost a fumble and a sack behind the line of scrimmage. Sammy O'Brien comes through and gets Thomas, who bobbled the snap.
Well, Sammy O'Brien got the tackle. Well, take a look at the linebacker coming up inside there. See the linebacker moving up in there? That's what caused the exchange fumble, so to speak. He didn't fumble it, but he didn't get it clean, and he was looking at that linebacker sneaking up in there.
There's the almost.
There, you see him come right through there. Now, O'Brien came through, but the linebacker caused the exchange. He was very much concerned about him.
Almost a disastrous play if Thomas had coughed it up. Second down. About 13. Give in to Rouse, and he smacked it about the 30-yard line. A gain of only about a yard. O'Brien and also Adam Bobb in on the play. Only a gain of, we'll call it 2, but it's more like 1. It's going to be third down and about 11.
Jerome Robinson so far has been a factor in this ballgame at linebacker position.
Coming out wide on the bottom of the screen is Derek Russell on this third and long, still in the wishbone. Russell the only wide out. On the option, Thomas can't turn it. Fourth down. Gary Jones coming up from his cornerback spot. The sophomore from Tyler made the play. That would have been a tough one to gain 11 yards on.
Well, he came down the line on the option. Now, he did get to the outside and looked for a minute. He was going to have room to get outside. But Gary Jones, nice sophomore, came from inside. 6'2", 210-pound sophomore came in and made a big play for him.
It'll be 4th down. And the punt will have to go into the wind, although the wind seems to have died down just a little bit. Kendall Trainer drops it. No rush. Gets a low kick. And it's taken at the 34-yard line. Rod Harris. Touchdown, Aggies. .66 yards on the punt return by Rod Harris. Harris had a long of 59 yards. That's his long of the year. Here's the extra point. It's good. Slater makes the kick, and so with the scoreboard clock reading 12 minutes and 11 seconds in the opening period, it's the Aggies 7, the Arkansas Razorbacks nothing. We'll hold it right here as we get set for the impressive kickoff. Let's see the Rod Harris run back here of the punt.
Well, first of all, it was a low line drive punt. Now, he starts to the outside. Right there, he picks up a wall of blockers. As he went down that sideline, there was a lot of people out in front of it. Finally, he just outran him going in the end zone down there at the end. But the low line drive kick, and the Bobble was partly responsible for that. Harris did an excellent job of running it, though, get it in the end zone, and the Aggies got just exactly what they wanted. They got field position and took advantage of it with the punt return.
Big play, 66 yards, as we said, the longest punt return of the year. Harris had one of 59 yards coming in, and that was his second touchdown on punt returns as we get set for the kickoff. Now, the last time the Aggies kicked off using the wind at their advantage, there was no way that Rouse could return it. It went deep into the end zone. Well, a big play, one of the two factors we said would be key in this football game, and the first big play of the game goes to Texas A&M. There you see James Rouse. He is set to return.
Well, I don't think when they're kicking from our right to left, we're going to see many returns in this ball game for kickoffs.
They're going to really have to miss it, I think.
Yeah, he'd have to hit it up in the air, and even then the wind might carry it in the end zone.
This one will go right to the goal line. Rouse going to have to take it. Here he comes to the 10. 19-yard line, and that's it. Popping him down there was Chet Adair. We also saw Brian Carpenter in on that play of the 12th man team. A 20-yard return, so he got it right up to the 19-yard line, taking it 1 yard deep.
Well, he did an excellent job with the height, though. That ball was high and deep, about 1 yard. He had to make a decision, and he almost had to come out with it because he was straddling that line as he caught the ball. Well, let's see what kind of shape Thomas's shoulder is in. That was one of the concerns, whether his shoulder will hold up.
He hasn't thrown the ball yet. Out of the eye, the pitch goes to Rouse on the left side, tries to sweep outside, gets 2 yards, and that is all. Knocked down there by linebacker Aaron Wallace, and it will be a 2nd down and 9. Yeah, we'll give him 2. We'll 2nd and 8. Ball is near the 22. As you see, there's Rod Harris, the man with a touchdown.
Well, as I said on the first running play, R.C. Slocum, the defensive coordinator's biggest concern was Rouse not being able to run the ball outside. If they could control that, they felt they could control the running game.
Fake give. Thomas looks to throw, going to run it, and he's going to lose a yard. Brought down Adam Bob, the 6'3", 230-pound junior linebacker from Lafayette, Louisiana. Lost a yard on the play, 3rd down and 9.
Well, right now, that stunning and blitzing defense of the Aggies is giving them problems. See the blitz coming. You see the blitz coming from the inside. Right there. There comes the blitz. Number 93, Guy Broom, the defensive end, came clean. He broke away from that back to the inside. And, of course, Adam Bob made the play.
I love that name, Adam Bob.
6'3", 230-pound junior out of Lafayette. Already made 2 letters here.
Johnson quickly gets out of the lineup. They got to call a timeout. I'm not sure if they had the players in.
It looked like there's a little confusion on the play that might have been sent in. Wasn't quite sure what they wanted called, so rather than waste a play, they took a timeout. Again, this was kind of a key third down play from Arkansas' standpoint.
An upset head coach. This telecast is unauthorized under rights granted to Home Sports Entertainment and is not intended for the commercial use of any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of Home Sports Entertainment is prohibited. Well, this is an extremely big game as you see the Aggie fans. There are over 70,000 fans in the stadium today. The stadium capacity without auxiliary bleachers is just over 72,000, and it is going to be very close to being totally full, if not. The Arkansas band, and we'll be having some of the pageantry of halftime as we get set for the play to resume. It's 3rd down and 9. Arkansas still looking for a first down.
Well, they started about 12:30 with the pageantry, Greg, with the corps marching in here and marching around and doing their thing. It was kind of exciting to watch the developments.
Yeah, Ed spent most of his life in those old smelly locker rooms. Never sees that stuff. Here's the try for Thomas, and he's nailed from behind the line of scrimmage. The blocking was pushed out of the way. John Roper, Samuel Bryant, all in on that play. They just pushed center Brian White right back into his quarterback's feet.
Well, he had a play-action pass called, and he wanted to get it downfield, but there were only 2 receivers out, and A&M had them blanketed. The rest of the people looked like they were in there almost on top of Thomas as he came out from underneath the center. A&M should again come out of this with great field position.
6-yard loss. It'll be a 4th down, 15. Punting from the end zone, but the wind has shifted, it appears, at least down on that end of the field. Here's the punt. This one's a lot higher. It's going to be taken at about the 39 by Harris. And up to the 45 where he is dropped. And before the Aggies put the ball in play, let's take a break. With 9:56 to go in period 1, it's the Aggies 7, Arkansas nothing on HSE.
What does 50% off really mean? 50% off of what price? If a diamond cost $100 and is marked $400 and then offered a 50% off, that's no big deal, is it? At Michael Klein's Fine Jewelry, we sell loose diamonds at 10 to 30% above our cost the year round. So you don't need a sale to get a fine diamond at the right price at Michael Klein's Fine Jewelry. If you shop and compare price and quality, your next diamond will come from Michael Klein's Fine Jewelry, where we don't have sales, just the best price the year round.
Florida football is a big hit. Follow the exciting Florida Gators for some of the hardest hitting action in college football. Gator Football Replay with David Steele and Lee McGriff.
Well, excellent field position for the Aggies as they get set to put the ball in play. This will be their first offensive play, and they lead 7-0 thanks to the run back. Arkansas has, this is one of those situations where admittedly it's early, but time of possession is all Arkansas, except for the amount of time it took for Harris to run back the punt. But Arkansas has no first downs.
Well, this is a great way to start the ball game, though, from A&M standpoint, Greg. You're ahead 7-0, you get good field position. If you want to try something fancy early or go deep and try to get a cheap touchdown, this is good position, good time to do it.
Woodside in motion with the I formation, and the give goes to the tailback in the lineup, Darren Lewis, the speedster freshman, and he gets up across the 45-yard line, about the 47. David Shell, the tackle from Albuquerque, New Mexico, made the stop, along with Cherico. It'll be a 2nd down and 8. Here's the offensive setup for the hometown A&M Aggies. The starting lineup already you can see in the screen behind you. A couple of changes in the lineup.
Well, look at the size of that left tackle. 6'6", 280-pound Lewis Cheek.
2nd and 8. Richardson is the quarterback. In motion, Woodside. Again, the give to the same runner, Darren Lewis, and he blasts forward across the 50 to about the 48. Ricky Williams, who we talked about in the opening of the show, the linebacker, finally made the stop. It'll be 3rd down and maybe 3.
Boy, that was a little bit of a counter play there where they pulled the right tackle. Tony Bartley came across on that trap.
Defensively, the Arkansas Razorbacks feature Cherico, who has gotten a lot of publicity. Maybe not had quite as spectacular a year as his publicity would generate, but he is a good one. Matt Gurley and Larry Horton in the backfield, along with Richardson. Richardson rolling left. It's complete at the 35-yard line for a 1st down. That was a big number. Anthony Cooney making the tackle. As you can see, the Aggie who made the catch was Wally Hanley, a backup tight end, number 92.
Well, he just rolled out and kind of lobbed it down there, and he went up and did a good job of catching the ball.
It's a 1st down at the 35. 2 wideouts on the top of the screen. I formation. No go at all for Mr. Woodside.
Well, Cherico did a great job. He just did a great job of anticipating that play back in the short side. He had a slant on that way. He broke through the line of scrimmage. He was in the backfield.
Here's the play again.
Watch him come down the bottom of your screen. The center trying to lead block on him. The guard pulled. He came through the gap where the guard had pulled, was in the backfield, and made the play.
Cherico, somewhat undersized nose guard, only 242 pounds, 6 feet tall, but he has been very effective Southwest Conference player.
Well, he's a good player, Greg. When you're getting double, triple team, when you're on the nose of that center, you always got the center and one of the guards blocking you. Very hard to stand out when 2 or 3 people are blocking you every play.
2nd down and 15. 5-yard loss on the play.
Safety blitz.
Richardson nailed as the outside man, Otis Lloyd, came through to put him down. Otis Lloyd is out of Stuttgart, Arkansas.
Well, there's the experience of the freshman quarterback now. Otis Lloyd started out, and he comes slipping up. He'll come from the left side of your screen on a safety blitz right there. Boom. Lucky that Richardson didn't fumble the ball. Good poise for him to bring it in, but Lloyd came on the strong safety blitz.
That makes it 3rd and a ton. 3rd and 24. Not only is that an important couple of plays for Arkansas because of where the Aggies were on the field, but of course it knocks them way back out of field goal range. Richardson dropping back over the middle. He's got a man, but that's going to be way short of the 1st down. That was to Matt Gurley, the fullback, but Ricky Williams held him to only a 5-yard gain. It'll be 4th down at about 19.
Well, that's the kind of play that you like to have a team throw when you're on defense. They just dropped off, let him complete it underneath, came back and made the sure tackle, so you wind up with 4th and 20, and they'll be forced to punt the ball.
Stump comes in. He, of course, had been a punter prior to this year. He drops back now out of the set formation, and he appears to be the man who will, in fact, punt the ball. He's going for the corner, but he's going to miss it. Actually, it missed by quite a big margin. We'll take time out with 6:04 to go in the period. The Aggies 7. Arkansas will have the ball again after this on Home Sports Entertainment.
It was a quiet night until the party animal came to town.
There's a super party animal. Hey! His name is Spuds McKenzie. A red hot nut and a cold Bud Light puts him in a party frenzy.
He's Spuds McKenzie, Bud Light's original party animal.
Go Spuds! Go Spuds! Oh yeah!
Bye, Spuds. Don't be a stranger.
It's another big Sunday of sports action coming up tomorrow on HSE. We'll be on as usual earlier than during the week with action to satisfy just about any sports fan. Here on Home Sports Entertainment, where the tradition continues. First quarter action with 6 minutes and 4 seconds to go. It Kyle Field in College Station. 1st and 10 for Arkansas, trailing 7-0. They have the ball on their own 20-yard line. Thomas holds it. He's got a trailer, going to keep it himself and struggle forward for a good 6 yards. Kip Corrington ran him out of bounds. Those are the kind of plays, Ed, that if they succeed, they don't look great. I mean, they're nothing that you're going to have in your highlight film, but you get 6 yards a pop, you win a lot of football games.
That's exactly right. As he went down that line of scrimmage, you really didn't think there was anything to that play. It looked like he was kind of going sideways, but all the while he was picking up a yard here, a yard there, and all of a sudden when he gets to the end of it, he winds up picking up 7 yards.
Yeah, he got even more than 6. It'll be 2nd down and a long 3. The ball is on the 27-yard line. Right out left is Tim Horton, but we won't see that much. Quinn Grovey now in at quarterback. The give to Rouse as he picks his spot and gets the 1st down across the 35-yard line. Good broken field run. John Roper got him after the handoff from Grovey, who makes his first appearance.
And now this is one of the plays where the Aggies were blitzing. They were blitzing to the left of the formation, and Arkansas ran back to the opposite side. There was a natural hole created there by Rouse. The tackle couldn't get over there. Take a look at the second angle from it. Now see the hole there? They had a blitz going on, and they guessed wrong. Arkansas had the right play called.
Rouse has carried the ball 5 times already. It's 1st down. Wishbone. Rouse 6, but there may have been someone breaking the plane before the snap. There's a flag down. Gained a couple of yards.
Yeah, I think the Aggies were offside on that play, Greg.
Adam Bobb made the tackle, but it appears that it's going to go against the Aggies. And so Arkansas will not only gain 5 yards, but get the down back.
Offside. Defense. Repeat. 1st down.
That's Wendell Shelton. It'll be 1st and 5.
One of the things about a blitzing and stunning defense, they have 33 quarterback sacks, and they tackle them back there 25 times for yardage loss. But once in a while, those plays will break in there and break clean all the way through to the safety when someone doesn't get to their gap responsibility.
Quinn Grovey stays in the game. He has been plagued by injury, as has Greg Thomas. Rouse, Foster, Joe Johnson. Give to Rouse. Again, picking his spots, but he's going to be just perhaps a little bit short of the 1st down. Gain of 4. Chet Brooks making the tackle. He moved from an all-Southwest Conference cornerback position to strong safety this year.
Well, that was a good job by Sammy Van Dyke and Joe Johnson, the 2 lead blockers in there. They had both backs leading that play inside. They did a fine job of leading Rouse into the hole. One thing about this Arkansas offense, those backs, when they're not carrying the ball, they have to be good blockers to run this attack.
It's going to be just short. But it will be 2nd down and very, very short. Ball is at the 45-yard line. Arkansas 45. The Jackie Sherrill-led Aggies lead the football game 7-0 here in the 1st quarter with 5 minutes and 1 second to go.
A lot of times you think this is a waste down, but I think with Arkansas being behind 7-0, they're going to go ahead and try to pick up this 1st down and control the football.
And if he did, he didn't get it by much as the quarterback holds on to it, Grovey, and found that there was heavy traffic in the middle. He only needed a couple of inches. O'Brien and the linebackers, Batiste, everyone really was involved in pushing that one back, and I don't know.
Oh, I don't think they gave him a very good spot, Greg. I thought he had surged forward enough to pick it up, but the spot, it appears he hasn't made it with that spot.
Yeah, they don't even
take a look at the line. Take a look at the line on that play. Watch the surge now. He only has to get to the line. Well, I guess he didn't get it. Good job by the officials. I second-guessed them looking at it, but seeing on the replay, they were absolutely correct.
Now it's 3rd down and virtually the same. Got it this time on the give to Sammy Van Dyke, the senior running back out of Dallas. Adam Bobb and Sammy O'Brien stopping him, but the 1st down is gained.
Well, that's the difference between a 205-pound fullback with a little momentum running in there than a quarterback just trying to take a step without any running start picking up the 1st down.
1st down. Arkansas has 30 yards on 13 carries, so as you can see, it's been a slow start for them offensively.
Well, the thing about it, though, right now, they're hanging in there pretty good. The fact they're behind 7-0, been working against the wind. I think Coach Hatfield will be very happy to get out of this quarter behind 7-0.
Again, the wishbone. Grovey stays in at quarterback. Wow. No, where to go? Dana Batiste coming through to make the stop on Joe Johnson, who had no room. Joe averaging 3.8 yards a carry, but the average went down on that one. He's a great open field runner, but he couldn't get to any open field.
Good play by Batiste, but boy, you've got a bunch of good linebackers in this football game. Watching him come up and fill right there, took the lead blocker on. Now he slips in from the backside and makes a play.
It'll be 2nd and 10. These yards are coming as hard as we thought they would with the two defenses that we have on the field. Grovey on the keep. Only a yard, and that's all. Guy Broom was in there, along with John Roper. Roper's already been on quite a few. That's really no gain. It'll be 3rd and 10.
I think he's a little bit unhappy with himself. As he tried to turn to go up, he slipped a little bit. His legs came out from underneath him, although A&M was in a good position defensively to make that play anyway.
Grovey, of course, coming off an ankle injury. Now he'll leave the lineup, and it looks like we're going to see Jim Simpson, who has been the number 3 quarterback and the only one of the top 3 that is not coming off an injury. The catch is he's also the only one of the 3 that's played very little. He's a passer, maybe. No, sir. Again, same line of scrimmage, no gain. Chet Brooks coming up. Dana Batiste in on the play. It was another great defensive stop, and it's 4th down.
Well, they sent Simpson in. They attempted to run a quarterback draw. He went back, and watch you now for the quarterback draw. Go back about 3 steps. 1, 2, 3, plant. Now he's coming forward on the quarterback draw, but A&M defensively was very alert to what was going on. Good pursuit by everybody. A couple of people sliding around. Finally, the tackle made by Chet Brooks.
Kendall Traynor will punt. That man Harris back at the 20. They go for the block. The Aggies get it. The Aggies are going to have the football inside the 20-yard line. Adam Bob. William Thomas made a great block. Adam Bob actually got his hand on the ball, and it was Thomas who recovered the ball down inside the 20 at the 19-yard line. Bob, the linebacker, really blew through.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. Ken Turner, the special teams coach for the Aggies, has done some homework for this football game. He's got 1 punt return for a touchdown and now blocked a punt. That special teams coach has done an excellent job.
Well, in a game that figured to be extremely close when you matched offense against offense and defense against defense, you got to find a spot, and they so far have with the special teams. Richardson, nowhere to go. Back to the 19 line of scrimmage, and that's about it. Center and the linebackers pinched in. I saw Ricky Williams coming in off the play, and it will be a 2nd down, and the ball will be still at the 10-yard mark. It'll be still on the 19, so it's 2nd and 10. That punt return, block punt return by Adam Bob, or actually picked up, not by Adam Bob. He blocked it. It was 24 yards, the bottom line, the amount of yardage gained by the Aggies. I formation. Richardson rolling. Incomplete. Just inside the 10-yard line, but it couldn't be pulled down by the intended receiver, Gary Oliver. Oliver, a freshman redshirt from Breckenridge.
Looked like he had a chance just to sprint out, going to his left, which is one of the tough ways to throw the ball, but he puts it there. Oliver had the ball in his hands. He just didn't hang on to it. That was a catchable ball.
He's completed 2 of 3 passes for 16 yards. That's really the first one that he's thrown downfield.
Well, going in the game, he really had only attempted 34 passes all year.
Yeah, 35% completion. The big thing with Richardson is his running. He'd been averaging 8 yards a carry. All right, it's 3rd down and 10. Caught and dropped. Great defensive play, actually, but there's a flag down at about the 2-yard line. Gary Oliver, the intended receiver, couldn't hold it, but a flag was thrown.
Looks like it's going to be against Arkansas.
Ben Floor was right there on the tackle, but let's see what the call is when
Defensive holding.
More than likely against the intended receiver before the ball was in the air.
Well, I think it was on the other side, Greg, away from Oliver. I think it was over there to the left side where the flag is at. The ball was thrown down here to the left, over to the right side.
Well, with the penalty, ball is moved up to the 9-yard line.
Out holding by the defense against an eligible receiver. It is an automatic first down.
Well, that's a big break for Arkansas, Greg. What a big break. For A&M, Arkansas would have stopped them and held it to a field goal. Now they got a chance to continue the drive.
Things are not going well here in this first period with 1:05 to go as far as Arkansas is concerned. It is on the 9. First and goal. And it'll be 1st and 13. What a tackle. Cherico. He came blasting through and got Darren Lewis as soon as he took the handoff. Second tackle behind the line of scrimmage for Cherico.
Well, take a look at Cherico now. They're just trying to run some trap plays on him. See him step down and come behind it. He gets in the hip pocket. Coaches always talk about if your guard or tackle is pulling, get in the hip pocket and go with him. Watch the right side of your screen. Watch those guys pull. Now watch Cherico come down inside right behind that and make the play. They took him to where the ball was going.
Harris goes out wide to the short side of the field. Oliver wide left with the I formation behind the quarterback, Richardson. Fake give, drops back, looks right, incomplete. That was a quick tackle. Aggie fans think he hit him too soon, but it's an incomplete pass. Morgan couldn't hold on to it.
Oh, that was a great play by Kerry Owens. Just a great defensive play by the linebacker, Kerry Owens. He was in position in zone coverage. He sees the tight end going all the way across. He's watching him all the way and makes his move right there. Made his move right there. He was in great position to make that play.
What kind of defensive we had? Well, the Aggies lead 7-0, but they have a minus 9 yards rushing on 6 attempts. That's the kind of defense we've had. They have had some fortunate plays that have gotten them in great position, and of course the punt run back by Harris that got them the points. 3rd down and goal from the 13. He's got room on the left side, Woodside, but not enough as he stopped back at the 10-yard line. He really only had enough to get back to the line of scrimmage. Steve Atwater, the All-Southwest Conference defensive back who broke his collarbone in the spring, made that stop, and it's 4th down, so now the Aggies would be for the field goal, it would seem, in any event.
Well,
the Aggies call timeout.
They're going for the field goal, but Jackie Sherrill was very unhappy about the amount of time that it took to get the timeout called. You see, Greg, when he wanted the timeout called, there was about 9 seconds left on the clock. What he wanted to do was take a timeout, kick the field goal, and then if he makes it, be able to kick off with the win. But the fact that the official didn't call that timeout right away, there now is only 1 second on the clock. So after they kick this field goal, the clock will run out, and they will have to kick off against the win. He's a little bit unhappy about the way that mechanics was worked on that play.
1 second is all that does remain in the quarter. The Aggies having a chance to take a 10-0 lead in the period, but the Razorbacks will have the wind in the second quarter. Or, I'm sorry, they will be facing the wind. They're going to be as big a factor, I don't think, with that football team because they don't throw the ball much. The punts are where it's going to be a factor.
Well, the punts and the kickoff, he would not have, in a normal situation, he would not have used his timeout. He was trying to stop it with 9 to 8 seconds to go on the clock. As it was, the official didn't recognize it, or the players didn't get the official to call it. It's now all the way down to 1 second, and it is really basically a wasted timeout.
Especially from this close, because the wind would not have been a factor at all. Stump is holding. Scott Slater kicking. It is up, and
Missed
it is
it.
no good. He had the wind with him, but he just missed it. It was offline, and so the Aggies escape a bullet. And that's the end of the period with the score Texas A&M 7, Arkansas nothing. The action on Home Sports Entertainment.
Yes?
Mr. Head, your tennis match is at 2:30 and your golf game is tomorrow morning at 9.
Thank you, Miss Davis. Have a good afternoon. I guess this looks like a cushy executive job. Well, it wasn't always this easy. I spent years pulling 16-hour days trying to get a handle on the stock market and my investments. It was nerve-wracking trying to decide when to buy, when to sell, and the return was rarely worth the risk. Well, recently, I discovered a new investment that's changed my life. Now I invest in football, and I'm making a fortune. thanks to this pocket-sized computer, the Football Analyzer. You see, in football, your choice is simple. You have to choose between two teams to cover the Las Vegas point spread. If you're right, you get a 100% return on your investment. And the Football Analyzer is right 73% of the time. This device analyzes football statistics and predicts the point spread winner. As I said earlier, it's an actual computer designed by Mike Warren, the world's greatest handicapper, and a team of software specialists from Johns Hopkins University. Now you can own your own Football Analyzer for just $49.95. That's right. If you call toll-free right now, 1-800-645-3946, you can purchase the Football Analyzer. This device could change your investment life. So order your Football Analyzer now for just $49.95. That number again is 1-800-645-3946.
7-0. It's A&M over Arkansas as we get set for the second quarter. You know, 7-0. That may be more points than some of the coaches thought there might be after one quarter. Yeah, that doesn't sound like many, but Jackie Sherrill, who has gone through a few of these Arkansas A&M battles and knows the defensive skills, does not expect very many points today.
It all depends on how turnovers come, and it depends on what happens in the kicking game. It could be a big scoring, high-scoring game. It could be a big game as far as turnovers, and if that's the case, then it will be a lot of points. If there's not many turnovers, and and Arkansas goes through their ball control, then they're not going to put a lot of points on the board because they're more contented just moving the ball down the field and keeping possession and keeping the the time, let it run on the clock. So it all depends.
You know what was interesting about those comments, Ed? You notice he mentioned Arkansas might not score a lot of points.
Well, I think quite frankly, Ken Hatfield has to be very happy with that last sequence of events. They had a block punt. They had a penalty that gave them first down at 10-yard line, and A&M came away with no points, and they've gotten out of this quarter just behind 7-0 with a punt block and a punt return for a touchdown.
Grovey stays in quarterback, so we have to assume that, well, as he's dumped behind the line of scrimmage, Sammy O'Brien tripped him up, 260-pound nose guard, and of course, Grovey's only 176-pounder, so it didn't take much force to knock him to the turf. We are guessing that Greg Thomas may still be troubled by the shoulder to the point that perhaps he took a hit that made it not possible for him to continue because he has been out for some time.
Well, you just missed the play there was a great play by O'Brien. He just went around the center, came back in and made the play. Now, he's showed some quickness for a 260-pounder on that play. He went to the left of the center, came back to the right, made the tackle in the backfield.
Got a statistical update, and it's not much, as Grovey is nailed behind the line. There's a flag down at the line of scrimmage. John Roper, the linebacker, again got the quarterback. But a flag was thrown right at the line of scrimmage.
I think it's going to be holding against Arkansas. Usually in that situation, it'll be a holding call.
Prior to that play, Arkansas had 16 rushing attempts for 30 yards. There's the call. No passes. A&M was 7 for -7 yards.
Watch Roper come from the top of your screen here now. This is his 10th sack of the year. He had a blitz on coming from the outside right into the play. It was a pass play. They were trying to set up a counteraction type pass play, but with Roper coming from the outside, he beat the block of the guard who was supposed to pull out to do the blocking on him, and Grovey just didn't have a chance.
And because of the loss, the penalty was declined. It's 3rd down and 20. There you see Ken Hatfield and his coaches trying to get something going here deep in their own end zone area, deep in their own territory. Here we go. Gain of maybe 6, and that is all. As Dana Batiste and Adam Bob bring down Van Dyke. 4th down.
Well, that Aggie defense is playing very well now. The two outside linebackers, Roper and Wallace, who they blitz and bring an awful lot. Of course, between the two of them going into this game, they had 16 sacks and 11 tackles for losses. They also had 22 quarterback pressures. So, two outside guys, you better figure out how to block them.
Kendall Traynor will punt with the wind, getting it away at about the 7. Harris is back in his own territory at the 34-yard line. 45-yard line, and brought down there at the 45.
Yeah, they're going to attack the penalty on the play, though. They're going to get set back a little bit more. I think there was either a clip right at the end of that play, Greg.
Patrick Williams made the stop, but the flag will be picked up and discussed. ACC football coming up next weekend. Duke at North Carolina. That's 11 o'clock live next Saturday. And we'll have Big Ten football. Michigan State at Wisconsin, 7 o'clock. That'll be a delay Saturday. And the Louisiana grudge match, LSU at Tulane, delayed at 7 o'clock Monday. And West Virginia at Syracuse, delayed to Tuesday, November 24th at 10 o'clock. These are the games coming up next weekend on HSE, your home for college football. As we look back on the field, the penalty has been assessed, and it will be a first down.
It was a personal foul against Arkansas, Greg. I thought there was a clip in there, but they called a personal foul against Arkansas. And this, again, gives the Aggies great field position. That
was off a 50-yard punt on an 11-yard return, plus the penalty, and it's now on the 40-yard line in Arkansas land. Nice move by Arkansas, or by the Aggies, Darren Lewis. Ricky Williams brought him down, but good quick foot move by Lewis.
Well, that's where you get that good back out in the open field, one-on-one, and he makes him miss down here. Gives the ball to him. He takes it to the outside, nothing inside. Now watch you make a little head fake and use the hips there. Just went around Anthony Cooney there to pick up that yardage.
Gain of 9, 2nd down and 1. Gully, first down. Gurley with the first down. LaSalle Harper, who is backing up in the linebacker spot, made the tackle along with Otis Lloyd.
Take a look at the offensive line up there. Now watch the left side fire out and get into those blocks. They moved the Arkansas defensive people back a yard or two. Gurley did a good job of finding some daylight and picking up the extra yardage.
Arkansas possessed the ball over 9 minutes of the first quarter, but got nothing out of it. The Aggies lead 7-0, and they're in Arky territory again at the 25. 1st and 10. Gurley again. 3 yards and the pile of dust. That's about it. Staggles off the right side. Tony Cherico swung over from his nose guard spot to make the play.
Well, he went again. He went behind Richmond Webb, the left guard, and Lewis Cheek, the left tackle. Of course, Webb is a 6'7", 260-pound sophomore. Cheek was a 6'6", 280-pound senior.
They got
Talk about some size.
That run finally got the Aggies up to even in the running totals. They've gone 10 carries for 10 yards and a fumble, but picked up on the bounce by Richardson. And he's going to gain some yardage, very close to a first down. Ricky Williams brought him down, but he picked up about 4 yards.
Take a look at there. Take a look at Williams right there, sliding right down the line of scrimmage, right in to make the play. Well, he's over there. He kind of missed a tackle, but he was in the position. He had to come from the inside there to force the play. If he tried to make a cutback, it would have been right into Williams' lap there. 57, the linebacker for Arkansas.
3rd down and 1, and out of the lineup is Woodside. They've got a double tight end flanker now, and the handoff goes inside to Gurley, and he may have the first down. It'll be close when he unpiles. Tony Cherico, Wayne Martin in on the play. He needed to get to just about the 15, not quite the 15.
Going to be close. Take a look at Matt Wilson, the center's block. Take a look at Richmond Webb running to that left side in there. But I don't think he made it to the line. Again, depends on the spot of the officials.
Judging from where the ball was on the far side, it appeared as though it might be a little bit short, but we'll see.
Oh, short by about 3 inches, Greg. Maybe 4 inches.
Okay, now will you concede that that's a more than 4 inches?
All right, we'll concede. Okay. 6 inches. Jackie Sherrill looking at his, he's telling his offensive team to stay on. We're going to go for it. Doesn't want to attempt another field goal against this little bit of wind. Got the play set in. He's got a short yardage play call that they had practiced all week long for this situation.
4th down, and you can see where the ball is located. 7-0 is the score in favor of A&M. And a big early 4th down play. Gurley and Darren Lewis with an extra tight end set in the backfield. And very close, but he made it. He only had to get to the 15, and he got just across the 15. Tony Cherico again making a stop with help, but no problem for the Aggies, although it was close.
Well, he comes to his right and just a little bit behind Jerry Fontenot there, and Fontenot just moved that defensive person out, enough for him to get the yardage. Fontenot, again, an awful big offensive line. 6'4", 250-pound junior. He bench presses over 400 yards. He can move houses by himself. These guys are getting so strong in the weight room, and one of these days they're just going to take them and move houses.
without a truck. First down at the 15. Richardson maybe changing plays, or, well, he didn't make the time. I think the 25 seconds may have expired before he got the snap away. We'll see.
Yeah, it looked like he wanted to make an audible there. It looked like he wanted to audible to run the option into the short side of the field because Arkansas was maybe overshifted. Sometimes
this procedure.
Sometimes that'll happen when you're trying to change plays. How about that Houston? Another big win today. 37-7 over Temple.
Well, they got their team rolling in our game that we had last week on HSE. And now they've won a couple in a row. And, of course, it always looks good for the future when you finish on a strong note. First down. 15. Richardson on the option had very little room, but he made pretty good use of what little room he had. Wayne Martin made the stop, but he picked up 4.
Yeah, he showed good judgment on the play. Came down on the line of scrimmage trying to run the option, but there really wasn't anything there. He had good poise for a freshman to finally find some place to go and pick up a few yards and turn a bad play into at least maybe about a 4-yard gain.
Still need 11 yards for the first down. It's second down and 11. They need to get to the 5 for a first down. The Aggies leading at 7-0 with 9:19 to go in the first half. Richardson rolling right. The rush is on. He's going to escape the rush, and he's run out of bounds at the 15, right about the original line of scrimmage. Bounced out there on the near side, and so it's going to be a third down and 10. Ricky Williams, the linebacker, showing the aggressiveness and the fact that he can cover the field along with Ben Floor on the chase.
Usually the difference between freshmen and juniors, Greg, is that when they scramble, freshmen will scramble to run. Experienced players will scramble looking for a place to throw the ball downfield. He makes up his mind right now to run right away. He could have been looking downfield and maybe completed the pass. That comes with experience. You can always tell a young quarterback, the minute the pocket breaks down, he'll run without looking ahead downfield.
He's gained 12 yards on 6 carries. This is a big third down now. The Aggies don't make it here. They'll have to go for the field goal unless they get very, very close. They have to get to the 5. He's got time, a lot of time. Where's his receivers? He's going to go to the corner. It's dropped. A wide open receiver in the corner, Gurley, and he couldn't hold on to the football.
Now, that was the difference. That time he did exactly what we talked about. He scrambled, looking for someone, waiting, having the patience. Finally, Gurley got open, and he says, well, I can't win for losing. I scrambled and run and didn't make it, and I scrambled and passed, and Gurley dropped the football for me.
2 out of 5 passing for that young man, but that was certainly not his fault. He had the poise to hang on as we're going to have the field goal attempt from the 21. It is weak and off to the right. The second miss in a row for the Aggies, and could that be a factor? We will see. We've got a timeout to take with 8:56 to go here in the first half. Aggies 7, Razorbacks nothing on HSE.
There's a vacancy at the Bates Motel.
Norman, is that you?
No, it's Spuds McKenzie, and it could be you. Look for this display and enter Bud Light Psycho Sweepstakes to win a Bud Light party with Spuds McKenzie at the Psycho Mansion. You could even get a mug like Spuds at participating retailers. Wow!
That Spuds is so cool, it's scary.
It's part of growing up to feel left out of the fun sometimes. It happens to everyone, even to the people who seem popular. If you don't use drugs and alcohol to have a good time, maybe you feel alone, as if you're the only person you know who isn't drinking or using drugs. But you're not alone, and you're not missing out on anything, except a ruined life or maybe an early death. Don't worry, you're on the right track.
Slater has missed a couple of field goal attempts. He came into the game 9 for 14, and the last one was just, both of them were not short. They just weren't straight.
Well, Coach Hatfield has got to believe he's dodged some bullets so far in this ball game.
Well, his defense has turned up the screws when the going got tough. As Grovey on the pitch back. There's Rouse. And Rouse gets to the line of scrimmage, and no more. Aaron Wallace, the Dallas Roosevelt sophomore, making the play from the outside linebacker spot.
Watch him come out now, reverse pivot to pull a guard, trying to run the option. He makes a little quick pitch, maybe sooner than what they really wanted to, because there wasn't much threat of him keeping the ball as he was so deep. You can see A&M really pursued and did an excellent job. There's about 6 Aggies right around the ball.
Rouse is shaken up. That's why we have a delay. And in fact, I think Arkansas has... Well, I guess they didn't actually call a timeout. Rouse has 25 yards on 6 carries. He will leave the field, although as he moves farther
looks like
across
he's left
the way,
a little bit on that left ankle, the way it looks like right now.
He may be all right. Meanwhile, there's Mr. Slater, who is wondering what happened here.
Well, he's looking for a friend, and when you miss 2 in a row in a game like this, you don't have too many friends on the sideline. Those players know that, hey, that's an opportunity. We could have had 6 more points up on the board, put a lot more pressure on Arkansas. As it is now, Arkansas still a touchdown out of the ball game.
Out of the wishbone. Whoa, the pitch back to Johnson, and he's going to turn the corner at the 20 and barrel his way to the 23, but that's only a 3-yard gain, and it's going to be 3rd down and 7. Chet Brooks and Kip Corrington coming up from their deep back spots.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. John Roper, watch the hit he puts on the quarterback now. Watch him coming from the top of your screen. Watch him come down and put the hit right there, boom, on the quarterback. He was coming on another one of those blitzes, and they were lucky to get rid of the ball and get it out there. Now the rest of the Aggie team is, of course, doing a good job of pursuing to stop the play, and Arkansas faced with one of those 3rd down crucial situations.
Arkansas 21 carries for 29 yards. They have yet to throw a pass.
Well, neither team has really moved the ball offensively so far in this ball game.
Maybe now. Grovey. He's lofting it. He's got a man, but it was one of those either everything or nothing, as Tim Horton couldn't catch up to the ball. 5'9", 167-pound sophomore from Conway, Arkansas. But there's a flag down, and maybe they got to the passer again a little bit.
Boy, if he'd have caught it, he takes it to the end zone, though. He had a step or two and would have gotten all the way in with it. Looks like this penalty is obviously against A&M.
Yeah, may have been roughing the passer, we are guessing. We'll get the announcement here.
Certainly going to be a personal foul. They're marching off 15.
Probably Roper, from what we would guess, because he's the man who's been getting through. That time he maybe got through just a little bit too late. 1st down for Arkansas. You know, that's a perfect example of the type of pass you have to be aware of with a wishbone team. They won't throw much, and then when they do throw, they throw what is really a very low percentage pass, but a pass that, if it's completed, is 6 points.
Well, it shouldn't fool you, though, on 3rd down and long, Greg. On 1st down, that's when that should be successful.
Johnson tripped up behind the line of scrimmage by that man, Roper. Oh, my. Member of the wrecking crew, the defensive unit with the Aggies.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. He's their leading tackler. Now, take a look at Roper now on this play. There he comes down the inside, beats the block, takes on another block from the inside, now reacts back to the outside to make the tackle. By one inside of one blocker, attacked the other blocker with his outside shoulder, attacked Tony Holmes there. Then he slid to his left and made the tackle. Oh, what a fine linebacker. And he's only a junior. Another year.
Out of Houston Yates, it's 2nd down and 13. Grovey on the option, nowhere to go, got to keep it, and it turned out to be a decent play. They've still got a long, relatively long 3rd. Chet Brooks made the stop as he picked up about 7 yards or 7 yards on the play.
Well, Greg Groovy does an excellent job on us. As he comes down, he puts a fake on Roper this time. Roper's going to go for the outside man right. Look at him make the fake there. See Roper go for the ghost, and they turn it back to the inside and picked up yardage. Excellent job by Groovy of setting up the ball for him to carry it himself.
36 yards down, 23 carries for Arkansas. 3rd down, 4. They'll need to get it to the 49, right at the mid part of the field for a 1st down. Batiste faked the blitz, didn't come through. Grovey on the keep. 1st down across the way, brought down by Roper again, but not until he had picked up the 1st down. That time Roper stayed home a little bit, and that gave Grovey enough room to maneuver.
Well, they were gambling inside. See the people coming inside. They thought they'd run the inside play. Now when he gets to the outside there, it's good lead block in there by number 18, Barry Foster, which helped make the play. Now Roper was out there. He had to play both the pitchman and the quarterback, and he had to play it kind of safe and conservative, because if he overplays, it could have went all the way to the end zone for a touchdown. Arkansas got a little drive going right now.
All it takes is one that right side of the line may have jumped. Flags are down.
Yeah, it looked like the right tackle or right guard jumped way ahead of time before the snap. It was on a quick count. Possibly one of the A&M players said something or yelled a defensive adjustment, and he jumped too quick.
So they'll do this play over from 5 yards further back. It's 1st and 10 now, but it's going to be 1st and 15. Back on the other side of the 50-yard line as they mark the ball.
Off. First down.
That's one of the problems you run into sometimes when you're running on the quick count, is that there's offensive linemen. We hear one of the defensive players make a defensive adjustment, and they'll go on that sound rather than their own quarterback's voice.
1st and 15. Ball back in Arkansas territory at their own 47-yard line. Nope for Rouse. Nothing there. Aaron Wallace, linebacker, stops him in his tracks. Another loss. There has been more backward yardage than forward, I think, today.
Well, you're going to come down to left here. There was 3 blockers to that side, but they were really alert to that particular play. Apparently, they must have realized when they got in that formation, that was kind of unbalanced. They had to split end over to this side also, but Wallace just penetrated and got down in the running lane. And again, those 2 linebackers have made a lot of tackles for losses this year.
Rouse has just 23 yards on 7 carries, and he averages over 5 during the regular season. It's 2nd down, nearly 20. Grovey drops back, floats the ball up in the air, and incomplete. It was caught out of bounds, or it was held on to, but it was out of bounds. Gary Jones got the ball, intended for Derek Russell. The ball floated in the air, and Jones had time to turn around and find it.
Well, Jones did a great job, though. That sophomore ran with the receiver and kept his eyes glued on the receiver until the receiver looked for the ball. I don't know whether we'll pick it up soon enough, but he was following the receiver all the way. When the receiver looked, he then turned and looked for the ball. It was in great position. You can see the position that he had on the receiver, but he ran with him just the way the coaches have designed it and told him how to play that.
Now, you can see in the replay he did not hold on to it. It was not that he was out of bounds. He couldn't hold on to the football.
Well, Curly Holloman, their defensive secondary coach, when he looked at that one on his film, is going to be well pleased with the way that young sophomore played that play.
Razorbacks are 3 of 7 on 3rd downs. This will really be a tough one to help the percentage because it's 3rd and 17. Grovey rolls right, and they didn't get close. He's banged out of bounds by Dana Batiste, the active linebackers on this Aggie team. A real story here. 4th down.
Well, and you hit it right, Greg. Those linebackers are really active. Roper, Adam Bob, Dana Batiste, and Aaron Wallace, and all of them have excellent size. You're looking at 215, 220, 230, and 215. Good size, good speed, all of them strong.
4:48 to go in the first half. Texas A&M 7, Arkansas nothing, and the punt coming up with Rod Harris back to receive it. Uh-oh, went right up the elevator shaft. It's going to come straight down. There won't be any return, and it stopped at about the 17-yard line.
Well, that's a good punt, though. Whenever you set a team back inside the 20, it's an excellent punt.
We'll be back with the Aggies taking over the football after we take this timeout on HSE.
While America sleeps.
Roger, you have line 114.
Aim high. Air Force.
Hey, I didn't know this. Atlanta's talking trade. And look who just walked out of camp. For my money, the Sporting News is the only way to get the whole story.
Fans, get the whole story of football, baseball, basketball, and hockey in the Sporting News.
Call toll-free 1-800-253-1000. You'll get 40 big issues of the Sporting News for 4 easy payments of only $5.45. That's half off the regular subscription price. So call now 1-800-253-1000. 1-800-253-1000.
36-yard punt with no return. As Ed pointed out, the key is it was inside the 20-yard line.
Well, we haven't had much of an offensive show, Greg, but we've had an exciting football game. Neither team really been able to control and move the ball, which is to be expected. We thought it would be a low-scoring ball game, and you're looking at the number 1 and number 2 defensive-rated teams in the conference, so it's about what we expected.
I'll tell you what, it's also been considerably faster than last week. 4 minutes and 39 seconds to go here. First half. Richardson on the pitch. Swinging outside, getting across the 20-yard line to about the 21 is Darren Lewis. Henry Crawford backing up in the nose guard spot made the stop. Terry's been all over the defensive unit for this club. And now we have, it looks like Mr. Lewis
is down on the field there.
Is injured on the field.
Sure is. Looks like he got twisted. Power sweep into the short side. Quarterback turned and pitched the ball with it, with the backs leading it, the guard out in front. There's a tackle there. And he goes down. Well, maybe he got that ankle twisted as he was being turned around, but it didn't look like anything as he hit the ground. Possibly sometimes a player has a little bit of a nagging injury that he's been carrying, and it gets aggravated on a play like that. I don't think he's going. I think he's going to be all right. Well, he's jogging off, so it looks like he's all right.
Darren Lewis, a 5'11", 205-pound actual freshman in his first year of college ball out of Dallas Carter, was considered by many to be the #1 running back prospect in high school in the nation last year. And he's had a pretty good Aggie start, 430 yards coming into this game, 4.5 a carry.
Well, they've had some great success out of Dallas Carter. Rod Harris is starting wide receivers out of there also.
2nd down and 6. Short gain for Larry Horton, the freshman from Tatum. Talk about running backs. Larry Horton at Tatum had 1,500 yards, 19 touchdowns last year as a senior. And Richardson was just playing high school football last year. So we're seeing some names that you're going to be hearing a long time.
And Lewis, along with Lewis.
That's right. Darren Lewis is now back in. There's Jackie Sherrill, the guy who is the beneficiary of these fine recruits. Matt Gurley also comes back in at fullback, replacing Melvin Collins.
I think he's a little bit concerned about getting the plays in and out of there faster. He's worried about the 25-second clock.
Well, they're down to 3 seconds, and now they got to call a timeout, and that's why he's upset.
He recognized what was happening, and with the 25-second clock, you have to get those plays in there quick. You can't dally around with them.
Jackie Sherrill, of course, the head coach, his offensive coordinator, and quarterback coach is Lynn Amity. Reminder that we've got pro basketball coming up this month. Houston Rockets for the Houston area will take on the Supersonics Sunday night, November 15th, 7 o'clock. Rockets take on the Pistons Tuesday the 24th at 7:30. And then it's the Rockets versus the Chicago Bulls. And that will, of course, feature Michael Jordan, his only visit to Houston this year. November 28th at 7:30 p.m. Houston market only, but it's Houston Rocket basketball, your home court advantage. Conversation on the sideline. Most people in the league say the biggest difference the Aggies have with any other team in the league, they've got some young players at key positions, but they got more players at positions than most of the other teams in the league, and that may very well be the difference.
Well, the name of the game is recruiting, Greg, and they've gone out and done an excellent job in the state of Texas the past few years.
3rd down and 2. Aggies lead at 7-0. They're on their own 23. He's got his man Harris, and he's run out of bounds at about the 37-yard line. So Harris, who has already run back a punt for a touchdown, catches the pass. And the junior from Dallas Carter brought down by Ben Floyd. 1st down.
Well, that allows them to keep the drive going, too, with only about 3 minutes and 25 seconds to go in this first half. Even if Arkansas holds them on this series, there won't be a lot of time left for them to have a chance to put any points on the board.
Well-thrown ball by Bucky Richardson, who came in just at 35% on 12 of 35. 1st down. And the short gain for Darren Lewis straight up the middle. Ricky Williams, a linebacker, stopping him after a gain of 4. Ricky Williams leads the Arkansas club in tackles coming into the play tonight. 6 feet tall, 230-pound, 3-year Letterman senior. That's why this is such a key year for Arkansas, because so many of their key players are seniors. And this is the year that they're going to win the Southwest Conference outright and go to the Cotton Bowl. They got to do it, because they got to start somewhat from scratch next year. Not totally, but obviously a lot of key positions.
Second call an audible again.
Same thing, little mix-up. They're going to try to blast through, but the blocking was there. Richardson in the corner. It is intercepted. Nope, out of bounds.
He's out of bounds. Officials ruling he caught the ball out of bounds.
Ben Floor got the ball, but could not come down inside with it. Just 1 foot touching. Couldn't do it. Let's see how close it was.
Now he got a good shot of it. He's going to lay out now. Let's see whether he brings himself down inbounds at all. Now, there he goes up in the air and comes down with the ball out of bounds. Good call by the official.
Richardson's hit 3 of 7 passes for 30 yards. And of course, the one big one to Harris just a moment ago.
You think Floor wouldn't like to make that interception? He's a freshman out of Mesquite, Texas.
3rd down. 6. 2 minutes and 39 seconds to go in the first half. 7-0 Aggies. Aggies ball. Richardson back to throw. Incomplete. Overthrew it. Too high. It was intended out for Woodside. Kerry Owens was there defensing. 4th down. Aggies have been 3 out of 8 on 3rd down conversions. Neither team has been effective. In fact, I think they both are 3 of 8 right now.
No, there hadn't been much yardage. I don't think either team has 100 yards of offense this first half.
Punters have been busy. And it's off the side of the foot. And it may have hit an Aggie. I think it did. I think the way the official threw a marker down at about the 28-yard line, so they'll bring it back.
Well, they'll get a legal touching and get the ball to 28, but actually the way the punt finished up, if it hadn't hit that Aggie, it would have wound up being a pretty good punt.
Sean Wilson did not punt on the first opportunity. Stump did, and now Wilson comes in and punts. And he doesn't do a very good job with that one.
Well, I think that they use Stump for their punting inside the 50, where they think he might get that high one to hang in there. Wilson looked like he's favoring his leg a little bit here right now. He may just have waited too long. It was a high snap. Looked like he tried to get it in position to get rid of it real quick. Kind of hit it off the side of his foot. But he got a break with the ball. It didn't really go out of bounds. It hit on about the yard line markers and bounced favorably from A&M standpoint. Really just the fact that it hit one of the players created it to be a much poorer punt than what it actually was.
There was officially 29 yards. Wilson came into the game with 40 attempts, 40 punts, 41.2 yards. Stump had only punted 10 times, an average of 38. Not a whole lot of difference in the average. The Aggie fans are up and rolling here. They want to see that defense push back the Hogs. Rouse stopped right at the 30-yard line. He ran into a wall of Aggie defenders. Alex Morris was the main brick in that wall out of Arlington Sam Houston High.
Well, I think it's going to be obvious that Arkansas is going to have very much difficulty running against this defense. Just a pitch of Rouse coming into the sideline. And A&M is doing a good job. Other than the first play, he had some success outside. But right now, oh, what a good tackle in there. Good tackle by Chris Hunter.
1 yard gain on the play. 2nd down and 9. Option again. They'll gain some yardage here, but oh, does he pay for it? Gary Jones comes through and levels Quinn Grovey after a gain of short.
I'll tell you one thing, there may not be much scoring, but there's a lot of good hitting going on down there.
There you see the evidence. There's not much scoring. There's also not much time left in the first half.
Well, I think Ken Hatfield, if he can go in at halftime behind 7-0 with all the things that happened early in this ball game and have a chance to regroup, you can rest assured he'll be very satisfied. I mean, he would like to be ahead, but the way the game has come around, he felt he was in deep trouble.
3rd down, 4. Grovey is stopped. What a defense by Roper and Batiste. Roper just used the muscle as Grovey only needed about another foot, and he couldn't get it.
Boy, watch this now. This is where we talked about him leg pressing over 800 pounds. Watch him use it here. Now, right now, you're going to see the low tackle there, but watch Roper grab him high. Look at the strength in those legs and push him back. That's what that bench pressing and work out with those legs does for you.
It's 4th down, and they're going for it. And they're in their own territory with 34 seconds left in the half.
I don't think they're going for it. I think they're just going to take a delay of the game.
Or try to draw them offside, huh?
I think they're going to take a delay of the game penalty.
Yeah, they're trying to draw them offside.
As much clock as they can. They just wanted to use the clock. They've got it down to 21 seconds. They figured, well, we're going to have to punt. Let's use as much time off the clock as we can.
Well, and if you can get them to jump offside.
Right. If they had jumped offside, they'd have had a first down, and A&M would not have had a chance to get the ball back.
So they'll kick it now. It'll be 4th down and 5 with 21 seconds to go. And quickly, the Aggies get their unit in very quickly. 41-yard average on 4 punts.
They're going to come after this one.
Yeah, they have no reason not to, and we have a whistle. Referee having a word with the Kendall trainer, the punter.
Oh, I think they wanted the clock started. I think they were trying to get the official to start the clock. But after the delay of the game penalty, the clock will not start until the ball is snapped.
Here they come, but Trainer gets it away. And Harris drops back to the 16. Nothing but white shirts because of the punt block coverage. There was no blocking for him, so
There's a flag on the play, Greg. I think they're going to have maybe a rough in the punter call down here.
That'll be back.
Or running into the punter, whatever. But it'll be a first down for Arkansas with just 11 seconds left on the clock.
Well, the Aggies lead at 7-0. We'll move them all back. Get this one sorted out. We are just 11 seconds away from the first half being history.
Yeah, they'll either run one play and go in at the locker room or maybe try to throw a long pass if they want to gamble a little bit.
Again, the discussion. Wendell Shelton, our referee, assisted by Joe Darden, Buddy Coleman, Roger Rogers, Tommy Moore, Bo Hicks, Ron Murphy. That's the crew. And the penalty is against the Ags, and they're moving the ball up.
Well, it wasn't.
First down there.
Well, Greg, it wasn't enough for the first down.
So
the penalty was not enough for the first down. It would have been fourth down. They had to punt again. And with the punt return for a touchdown and the punt block, you figure, well, let's give them the ball with 11 seconds, see what they can do moving against the wind.
Let's see how long it takes for him to get to him. I had already taken my eyes off, and, well, there.
May I have your attention, please?
It's a non-factor. The punt was 51 yards, the return 7, so make the Aggies throw a bomb on them here with 11 seconds left. That's the theory here.
Well, I don't know whether the Aggies will attempt it against the wind in this situation. I think they'll just be content to go in at halftime ahead 7-zip.
No, that's the point. The point is that the only way they're going to be in any trouble is if they throw a bomb on them. They're not in much danger. Woodside comes out to the side. The Aggies continue huddle up. This is the last 11 seconds of the half, about the longest 11 seconds we've had this year.
Well, I think right now both sidelines have had a warning maybe from the officials about being too much on the field. They're trying to get a little sideline control. Both teams are obviously excited. It's a big ball game, and officials went to both sidelines and both head coaches, and you could see them telling those players to get back behind the white lines.
If the Razorbacks lose this game, frankly, it will have then all of a sudden been a disappointing season because they could not win the Southwest Conference. And we eat up the clock here on the simple possession as the teams head for the locker room as the clock ticks down. We've reached the end of one half. The difference in the football game, a 66-yard punt return in the first quarter by Rod Harris. The Aggies lead by a score of 7-0 at halftime at College Station. We'll be back in a moment.
Hey, how you doing? Good. In fact, I feel like light. Hey. What the? Whoops. Oh, no. Well, I meant Bud Light.
If you want the less filling light beer with the first name and taste, ask for Bud Light, because everything else...
You all right? Sure, just a little lightheaded.
It's just the light.
When my son Alonzo graduated from high school athletic honors, I was proud. When Alonzo received an appointment to the Air Force Academy, I was very proud. I was proud when Alonzo won 2 gold medals in the 1984 Olympic Games. But what made me most proud of all is when my son Alonzo became an officer in the United States Air Force. Do I really have to call you sir, son?
Greg Lucas back along with Ed Biles. We're at Kyle Field in College Station. Halftime score 7-0. The Aggies over the Razorbacks. I guess that's no real terrible surprise. We didn't think there would be a lot of points in this game because, frankly, we have great respect for the defenses, and that has certainly panned out.
Yeah, it really has. One punt return for a touchdown, and the first punt of the game, it all occurred, had 7-0. I just sitting here thinking, Greg, it's kind of interesting how football is sometimes. You got two teams now that just went into halftime. Jackie Sherrill of the Aggies is ahead 7-0, but he and his staff are kind of, for the first minute or two, griping amongst themselves about, oh, we had opportunities, we should have had more points on the board. We had a first down inside the 10-yard line, didn't take advantage of it, missed a couple field goals. On the other hand, Ken Hatfield and his staff, the first couple of minutes, were saying to each other, boy, are we lucky. Here we dodged all these bullets. We're behind 7th. We are one play away from being back in this ball game. So Hatfield will tell his squad, hey, we played bad the first half. We didn't do anything, but we can win this football game. We've got a great opportunity. Jackie Sherrill, on the other hand, has to encourage his squad that we didn't play our best. We need to come out and play a little bit better this second half.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what kind of adjustments can be made because both these teams are pretty much playing the style they've played all year. So you can't see too many adjustments on offense.
No, not many adjustments offensively. I think they've got, both teams have a couple tricks up their sleeve, I'm sure, that they'd like to pull when they get good field position. Arkansas has not had any good field position to try to do anything fancy. A couple times there, though, when they threw the play-action pass, they had a receiver open deep. And again, remember, they're only one play away from being tied.
Absolutely. It's only 7-0 at the half. The Aggies lead the Razorbacks. We'll continue with our halftime pageantry by taking a look at the marching Aggies, but that'll be coming up after we take this time out on HSE.
November's a whole new ballgame on home sports entertainment as the Dallas Mavericks and Houston Rockets tip off the NBA's regular season on the 6th. For the Dallas area, the Midwest Division champion Mavs host Utah, Seattle, Portland, the LA Clippers, Detroit, and Chicago. While Houston area viewers will see the Rockets take on San Antonio, Utah, Seattle, Detroit, and Chicago. For football fans, HSE has 18 college games featuring nationally ranked teams like Notre Dame, Clemson, Florida State, LSU, and Ohio State, plus 3 Saturday night Southwest Conference games, including the Arkansas A&M contest on November 14. HSE also brings you NHL hockey with the New Jersey Devils, live Virginia Slims tennis, HBA boxing from Houston, University of Texas women's basketball, and on the 25th, every Aggie's reason to be thankful, the traditional A&M bonfire. You'll find all this and a whole lot more in November on HSE, bringing the home team advantage home.
Halftime continues at Kyle Field. The Aggies lead the Razorbacks 7-0. Greg Lucas back, and we are set to take a look at more of what transpires at a college football Saturday as we check out the marching Aggie band on the field. Halftime continues at College Station, where the score finds the Aggies leading the Razorbacks 7-0. More after this.
Are you part of America's biggest problem? Here is the answer. The Home Fitness Machine by TurboFlex, the most exciting innovation in home exercisers. The Home Fitness Machine works to reduce flab and firm the upper and lower stomach muscles. It's perfect for shrinking oversized thighs and toning fatty leg muscles. The total body workout includes special dynamic action for the arms and chest. And all the special high-tech design features are here. Adjustable safety straps, comfort knee rests, adjustable support bar, and all steel tension springs. The Home Fitness Machine, the best investment in good health and good looks you can make. Here's how to order.
To order, use your credit card and call right now 1-800-255-6060. Or save COD charges and send $29.95 plus $4 heavy-duty postage and handling to Fitness Machine, P.O. Box 2001-HSE, Murray Hill Station, New York, New York.
Kyle Field and College Station jam-packed with football fans as the Aggies take on Arkansas, and we are at halftime with a 7-0 score. The Texas A&M Aggies have the lead, and really not a whole lot of offensive highlights. In fact, the only highlight really wasn't an offensive highlight. It was this return, Ed Biles, by Mr. Harris on a punt.
First punt of the game. Kicked the outside people out, and he got a little wall down there, went down that sideline and took it in. He knew he was gone. Once he broke through that first line, took it in the end zone, which put him up 7-0. Here's another shot of it. You can see he did a good job looking the punt in, because he started off to the right there. He picked up 2 blocks. Now he just legs it all the way down into the end zone. Of course, that was the entire scoring of the first half, as he once again takes it in the end zone.
That was 66 yards on that particular situation. If we take a look statistically in the first half, what we were talking about, there isn't much to say. Very little total yardage. Arkansas only trying 1 pass and it being incomplete. The Aggies not really doing much better in that standpoint. Time of possession, Arkansas having the advantage there, but again, it all pays off on the scoreboard, and that punt return was the big story.
Well, neither team has a pass intercepted, and neither team has lost a fumble, so theoretically there's no turnovers, but you have to say that the punt block and the punt return were the same as a turnover situation. Should be an interesting second half to see whether teams decide to do a little bit different. They're going to look at these stats and say, hey, we haven't done much offensively, either team. Do we have anything up our sleeve that we can do the second half, or that we have saved for the second half? Sometimes they don't want to show it at the first half so that the defensive coordinator doesn't have a chance to make an adjustment at halftime.
Interestingly enough, both teams have played the wind in their decision-making. In the first half, the Aggies had the option. They decided to go with the wind and kick off, as it turned out. Same thing here in the second half. The option was Arkansas's. They elected to defend the south goal, and there's one of the reasons. The ball blows off the tee. The wind has been a factor, and it looks like it may even be a little bit stronger now than it was earlier if we judge the way the flags are almost at attention, straight out.
Yeah, I would judge it maybe 20 miles per hour now, Greg, down there with the way those flags are standing out and blowing.
So Arkansas wants the wind now, which is sort of interesting in the sense that, there's a fourth quarter to play. And the wind blows off the tee again.
Yeah, they're going to have to bring someone in there to hold it this time. They won't. The officials won't allow it to continue that way. They'll bring, there he comes in. He'll hold it.
Gurley will hold it for Kendall Traynor. First half individually, Lewis had 6 rushing attempts for 22 yards for the Aggies. That was tops. Arkansas's leading rusher was Rouse, 24 yards on 8 carries, only a 3-carry average.
And all those guys had big averages coming in. Woodside was averaging 5.3, Lewis was 4.5, and Rouse with a big over 5 yards per carry average.
Trainor's kick goes deep into the end zone, will not be returned by Harris, and so the Aggies will have the ball 1st and 10 on their own 20-yard line as we get this second half underway. And the Aggie fans come to life. As a result of the activity earlier today, of course, the Razorbacks cannot win this game and clinch a Cotton Bowl spot, but they have to win it to still be in the hunt. And the same goes really for the Aggies. So it's so important.
Well, especially with Texas winning today, that keeps them in the race theoretically.
That's right. Going out wide to the top of the screen is Gary Oliver with Melvin Collins and Woodside, the running backs. Woodside the give, fakes in, goes out, gains a couple to the 22-yard line, and that is it. We have been, in fact, I know what it was. You notice that you're looking at Richardson. He's wearing number 7, but he's wearing a different jersey. Look, 12th man. He's not.
Well, maybe he's trying to get some help from the stands and anybody else he needs.
Well, he had a sleeve that was very, very loose and frayed, and I think they may have made him change it. 2nd down and 9. Back up the green and incomplete, intended for Harris. He had to dive back for the ball. The defense was there. Steve Atwater was on his back, but couldn't complete it, so it will be 3rd down and 9.
They really kind of threw that into a lot of traffic, too. Good. Maybe it's good that he didn't throw that as well. If he made a good pass there, Arkansas was in pretty good defensive position.
David Coolidge has lost his shirt. He's the 12th man, number 7.
You see Jackie Sherrill walking down the sideline there. Of course, in 3rd down, he's yelling, "Punt team, get ready." He's telling that punt team to be ready. Always has to be one play ahead of what you may have to do so you can get them on and off the field.
Well, if Arkansas holds on this 3rd, their decision to defend the South and kick off might really pay off early. Richardson. Woodside short of the 1st down. He caught the ball, but he is short of the 1st down, so it'll be a 4th down. And there's a coach that's a little more pumped up now, Mr. Hatfield.
Well, like I said, he feels he's been through 2 wars the first half and dodged an awful lot of bullets, and knows right now that there's a good possibility that he could come out of this with good field position, their first possession in the 2nd half.
Punting for the Aggies is Wilson. And it's short. That's his 2nd 4 punt. And it takes definitely not an Aggie bounce. It was killed before it could go back even further by Tony Jones. Sometimes, a very weak punt.
Sometimes a punter will think a little bit too much about the wind. I'm not so sure that he was more concerned about the wind than he was about just doing a good job of punting the football.
It didn't happen. He only got a 20-yard punt, so the 2nd half already is going the way I think Ken Hatfield had it diagrammed at halftime. He says, we're going to hold them, we're going to get good position, we're going to have the wind against the other guys, and now let's see if they can execute and score some points. That's been the problem.
Well, they have good field position, so if they have any ideas about doing something just a little bit different than they did the 1st half, they're in great position to do it right now.
Well, one thing that would be drastically different would be to throw. They threw the ball twice. Once the actual pass was wiped out by a penalty, they had one official attempt and missed it. Quinn Grovey, the quarterback. No gain. Went down the line of scrimmage. There was no hole, and he was banged out of bounds there by Joe Johnson.
Boy, that's another one of those fine linebackers that A&M have. As he comes down out on the option, fakes the inside. Now he's going to take it to the outside. No place for him to go. Now watch Johnson come in from behind, hit him with just a perfect angle. The way he's been taught, stay right about a half yard behind that quarterback, and when he turns upfield, then put the hit on him.
Joe Johnson, the linebacker, is a 6'2", 210-pound junior transfer from Miami, Florida. Grovey again on the option, and again he has to run down the line of scrimmage and nowhere to go. Gary Jones got him. He just keeps saying, hey, open up, so I can cut upfield, and nothing has cut.
Well, R.C. Slocum, the defensive coordinator, they've looked at this option enough. And what you want to do, you just stretch it out. Now, he's going sideways, not making any yardage. You know, when you're running east and west, you're not making anything. You got to go north and south to pick up yardage. Eventually, the sideline comes into play. There was no place for him to go.
3rd down and 10. He's dropping, but he's sacked. There's Mr. Roper. Aaron Wallace put some pressure, but Roper, number 83, he has had quite a game.
Well, he really has. If you're looking for a defensive player, now watch him come on a blitz. Comes up from the inside right there. Got around the block and made the play. John Roper, that's his 2nd sack of the ball game.
He is a live wire. And he's playing like it. All right.
Well, Luther Booker, his coach at Yates, is going to be proud of him.
Trainer punts up in the sky. Got pretty good coverage. It'll be taken by Harris, who just has time to dive forward to the 21. The advantage of the high punt, no return opportunity. The Aggies get it back, so first good field position. The official numbers on that TCU-Texas game, the Longhorns bounced back from last week's defeat at the hands of Houston, winning at 24-21, and that sets up something really big coming up next week right here on HSE. We'll have Baylor and Texas, and again, Texas in a situation where they cannot afford to lose a football game if they want to win the Southwest Conference and go to the Cotton Bowl. We'll have the delay broadcast for you at 10:30, repeated on Sunday at 7, the season finale for Southwest Conference football on HSE.
No, that makes them 4-1 after today's ball game. Of course, if A&M could continue to win this one, they would be 4-1.
Arkansas would be finished, and of course, if they lost this one, that would be 2 defeats, and that would do them in, because there would be too many teams that are ahead of them that could knock them down. There's a give inside for very short yardage to Matt Gurley, the 6', 210-pound junior fullback. Albert Harris, who had been a linebacker, moved back to the defensive line, made the stop. Gurley had 3 carries for 12 yards.
Little different statistical game than what we had last week, Greg. We had the record book out all the time last week.
Yeah, Brad is handling the stats up here again this week, not having to write as much. There's the give inside to Darren Lewis, and he struggles forward on the angle down to about the 28-yard line. Ricky Williams again. The linebackers have been active for both teams, and that has been especially impressive because, you know, linebackers are not tackling them after 3-yard gains. These linebackers are stopping them in large measure right at the line.
Oh, Arkansas's 2 inside linebackers, Ricky Williams and Eric Whitted, 2 fine players, doing an outstanding job. And then outside backer Owens doing a good job.
3rd down and a long one. Need to get to the 31-yard line. Richardson was going to be real close.
I don't think it depends on the spot, but I don't think he made it.
He had the ball forward across the 30-yard line, but where was it in relationship to when the knee went down? Tony Cherico and Albert Harris made the stop so close that we will measure.
Well, if they get away, we might be able to take a look at it and see where it spotted that.
He's short.
He didn't make it.
He's short. Based on where they spotted it, he's going to be short by about
half
8 inches, maybe.
Half the football.
Okay, well, that'd be about 8 inches. The ball's not quite that long. 7-0 is the score. And there's how short he is.
Let's take a look at Cherico inside there. Now he takes a step to his left, and watch him work back down to his right to get involved in that play. That's a good play by Cherico. If he'd have cut it back anywhere at all, he'd have done his job. Sometimes people say we didn't make the tackle. Doesn't necessarily mean that he did not do his job. He protected an area, and the back could not cut back in there. He forced him to go right into where the rest of the traffic was at.
Greg Stump now comes in to punt. He punted once before and dropped one inside the 20. He is getting his first opportunity to air one out because of the problems Wilson has been having. Pretty good job. No return to speak of.
Boy, that's an excellent punt into that wind. That's about a 40-yard punt into that wind.
Lafayette Turner made the stop as there was nowhere to go. And we'll take a break. 7-0 Texas A&M. 10:18 to go in the 3rd on HSE.
Tradition of horsepower. Miss Budweiser and the king of beers. A tradition of horsepower that's making waves. Racing fans, this Bud's for you.
There's something new and delicious at Taco Bueno. Mexi dips and chips, made fresh every day. Dip into zesty bean dip. Dip into spicy cheese nacho dip. Dip into fresh guacamole. Dip, dip, dip into all 3. New Mexi dips and chips, only at Taco Bueno.
Ken Hatfield on the sideline. After that 43-yard punt, only a 3-yard return, his Razorbacks have the ball back on their own 29-yard line, 1st down. Grovey stays in at quarterback with the wishbone behind him. Look at that defense. Sammy O'Brien, the nose guard, just blasted through.
Boy, he just stepped around to the left of that center, and they had to slant on the right way, and he stepped right up into where the play was directed to be run. Now, take a look at him. Watch him come right to the left of the center, right up into the play.
Sammy Van Dyke didn't know what hit him.
Didn't have a chance. Did not have a chance.
Second down, 10. They stopped him. They say the momentum was stopped right in his tracks. Van Dyke has 10 yards on 4 carries, but no one doing much running tonight. Grovey pumps, can't throw it, sack behind the line of scrimmage. Wallace in there. And I think our man, Mr. Roper, again in on the play. Number 83 and 23, both the linebackers pinched in from the corners. And it'll be a
look at O'Brien. Well, the center did a good job blocking him. That time one-on-one. And you can see Roper, they'll get around again and make the tackle. I just looking up one record that may fall today. Arkansas, how many times they had most punts in the game? And that's 13 versus Oklahoma State in 1946. 2, 4, 6. This is the 8th. They hold it here. This will be the 8th punt of this game.
Now we got 8 minutes and 57 seconds left in the third. Little bit of room, but not much. He runs out of bounds. A 1-yard gain, and it's 4th down. Chet Brooks and Gary Jones is putting the pressure on. I'll tell you what, you can't say too much about this Aggie defense. The fans love it.
You can't play any defense any better than they're playing right now.
On third downs, 3 out of 12 for Arkansas. Of course,
well, Arkansas has had the ball 8 possessions in this game, Greg, and have punted 8 times.
Good kick, high in the air. Harris comes over and takes it at about the 27-yard line. He's got 1 block, and he gets up to about the 37-yard line, where he's down there by Juju Harshaw. San Antonio Spurs basketball on portions of the HSE network. The Spurs will be at Denver Friday, November 20th at 8:30 p.m. And then the Spurs, featuring that dynamic backcourt duo of a former Arkansas Razorback, Alvin Robertson and Johnny Dawkins of Duke, will take on the New York Knicks Monday, November 23rd at 6:30. This will be seen in the Corpus Christi and Austin markets only on HSE. 45-yard punt, a 10-yard return by Harris, and it's first down.
Well, one thing that's happening, though, A&M is kind of gradually working themselves up the field a little bit with this exchange of punts. Now, they started out on the 20 at the early part of this ball game. Now they're starting out on the 38-yard line.
High formation set in. Play action and batted away. Actually, Richardson did not have an open receiver. Wayne Martin knocked that one down as he came through from the tackle position. Neither one of these teams are going to be used for training films and passing attacks. But in the Aggies' case, it's mainly because they've got an inexperienced quarterback.
Well, you can see Martin come through 2 people, and the last thing you've done is get that see him jump up and get that hand up. That's what coaches taught him, that if you can't get there, at least put your hand up and try to force the quarterback to throw in a different passing lane.
And he's a big defender at 6'5", Richardson at 6'1", the quarterback. Give inside to Gurley, the fullback, and he breaks forward to about the 42-yard line. It will still be third down and at least 5 to go. Ricky Williams making the tackle. Gurley from Arlington Lamar was redshirted in '85, moved to fullback in the spring. Mostly used as a blocker. He is a 3.8 rushing average, short yardage. Third down and 5.
Cherico's doing an excellent ball game. You know, a lot of people said he hadn't played as good a football this year. He's had a tremendous ball game today, Greg.
Richardson looks it over on the option, pitches back to his star running back, Woodside, but there's a flag down after a gain of only a yard.
Well, they had the perfect defense called, though. They slanted to the right side of the field, right to the way that the Texas A&M Aggies ran that play.
Ben Floor made the stop, and here's the conversation. They tell Cherico to get out of there, but Cherico thinks it's going to be against the Aggies.
Holding against the Aggies. They'll turn it down. It'll be 4th down. Well, Williams just made an excellent play. Ricky Williams, take a look at it. That's an option play. Look him shuffling down the line, go underneath the block, Now he's just playing it coming from the inside out. He's keeping leverage on the play, so if right there, boom, when he cuts back, he's there to make the play. He knew he had outside help out there to make the play if they went to the outside. Oh, Ricky Williams, again, some kind of linebacker.
We have oohed and ahhed about the defense the Aggies have had, but golly, Arkansas is only a half step behind them. Craig Stump will be in to punt again. I think the Aggie defense has been a little more spectacular, but oh, look at that punt. Stump really booms it to the 10-yard line, and a return to the 12, and that is it.
Well, it looks like the coaching decision to change punters was certainly the right decision.
Basil Jackson got through to make the stop on Russell, and it will be first down for the Arkansas Razorbacks deep in their own territory. And with this defense, the 46-yard punt, only a 3-yard return. With this defense that the Aggies are showing, I know there's more than just one fan that's going to think this is a futile effort for the Razorbacks because they have had absolutely nothing work. Now, admittedly, they don't throw the ball, so that takes half of your potential offense away, perhaps, but they've not had anything work.
They're still sitting there in a position that one play can tie the ball game up.
First down in the wishbone. Had a quarterback change. There's a give up front across the 23-yard line, maybe a first down, and that may have worked. John Bland is now at quarterback. Now, Bland is the guy who was the safety who they worked out for the first time this week.
Now, there's a hand back to Joe Johnson in Longview, Texas, and that play was very close to being the one play we're talking about breaking. He gets through that mess there. He's all the way to the end zone.
Bland was a quarterback, moved him to defense. He started taking some snaps this week because of the injuries. And now he's going to run the option. He's going to find out it's maybe safer to be in the defensive backfield as he is hog-tied by Basil Jackson for a loss. Back to the 21-yard line.
I think the amazing thing about all these linebackers, Greg, is the fact that they're making so many of these tackles in the open field. Out there, one-on-one situations against running backs. Linebackers sometimes have a tendency to miss once in a while. All these linebackers, both Arkansas and A&M, are making tackles one-on-one.
That gain a moment ago by Joe Johnson of 11 yards was the longest from scrimmage for Arkansas. And then on the ensuing play, they lose 2. And that's the way it's been offensively for the Razorbacks. It's second down and 12. Bland, no hole. It'll be third down and 12. Basil Jackson and Sammy O'Brien close him off.
I tell you, O'Brien is playing just a tremendous ball game. It looks like someone said, hey, you're going to be compared with Cherico in this ball game. He's trying to show a few people that he is just as good a nose guard as Cherico. He's making Southwest Conference defensive nose guard.
Timeout called by the Razorbacks with third and 12, 7-0. Razorbacks trailing the Aggies with 5:59 to go in the third on Home Sports Entertainment.
There's something new and delicious at Taco Bueno. Mexi dips and chips made fresh every day. Dip into zesty bean dip. Dip into spicy cheese nacho dip. Dip into fresh guacamole. Dip, dip, dip into all 3 new Mexi dips and chips. Only at Taco Bueno.
I like the feeling I get when my team wins games. That feeling is one reason why I play football. I learned a long time ago that winning isn't just as simple as knocking somebody down. You have to be smart, you have to think. Players who use steroids aren't thinking. Steroids have side effects, serious side effects. Even players who have used them will admit that. So be a real winner, a smart one.
Like on the other side of the field, Bland has come in to play quarterback for the Razorbacks, and now Mr. Stump, the veteran, is warming up.
Well, maybe they're going with the theory, hey, he's got a hot foot, maybe they have a hot hand.
Well, they also go in by the theory that nobody's moving our team anywhere. Neither team is moving at all.
That's interesting enough. Of course, that's been the problem of both these football teams. They've had quarterback problems. The Aggies have used Stump early, then they went to Pavlis, and now they've got Richardson in there doing it. And Arkansas, of course, Thomas was their starter, and injuries and Groovy, and we thought we might see Simpson. Now we're seeing Bland in there.
I think Simpson was in for one play. Bland, the quarterback. Well, look, we do have Simpson, don't we? 17. Yeah, Simpson's now at quarterback, so we see him again. He's going to try to throw, but he isn't going to get it done as he's dropped by Aaron Wallace. Roper was there to keep him from putting the ball up, and Wallace put him down. 4th down.
And one of the things about that formation, the flex bone, is just that one receiver out there. You don't have to cover a lot of people, and the Aggies double covered downfield. You know, there's just no place for him to go with the double coverage they had on the one wide receiver. Eventually, something's going to break down.
Kendall Traynor will punt. Again, Harris is back to receive the kick. End over end. He will not be able to pick it up on the fly as he's going to have to take it on a bounce. Harris at the 33. He's got the speed across the 40.
Penalty, though.
But there's a flag, and it could have been a clip. It appeared as though William Thomas got turned around and threw a block from the rear.
Yeah, I think it was kind of a push in the back more than a real hard clip, but it was a push in the back as he thought I think his thinking was that the punt return man was going to come to the outside this way, and then when he made that move back to the inside, he had already committed himself to go for that block, thinking that he was going to come back to the outside.
That was an outstanding punt. Yeah, 54 yards, and then you tack the penalty on it. Real position switch.
I think Jackie Sherrill was really kind of complaining that the possibility that defensive player turned himself into the block. Now, sometimes if a defensive player will turn himself into the block, it really isn't a clip.
You saw Stump coming in. He's at quarterback. The 3-year Letterman senior comes in with a 48% passing record. I'm not all that sure that we might see the ball in the air a little more.
Kind of unusual 7-0 ball game. We've seen 6 different quarterbacks in the game.
That shows who the coach is blaming the lack of offense on. Stump is going to throw. And he goes inside and completes it for a short gain of only about 5 yards. Completed to Woodside. Ricky Williams brought down Woodside. Woodside, #1 all-time A&M receiver.
I think the other interesting thing here, Greg, is the fact that the team that's ahead 7-0 appears to be opening up the offense a little bit more than the team that's behind 7-0. Arkansas has been very content to run the ball. Here, A&M is going against the wind in their own territory, putting Stump in, and the first thing he does is throw a pass.
Well, Arkansas also the team that probably can't open it up too much more. They frankly do not have classic passing quarterbacks. There's a give inside to Gurley, and Gurley gets across the 30 to perhaps the 31-yard line, close to a first down.
Well, we come up with another one of those short yardage situations. We probably, well, I'm going to say this, I think it's less than the length of the football. We've had so many of these situations.
Gurley now with 5 yards altogether. It's 5 carries for 23 yards. Last tackle made by Otis Lloyd and Albert Harris on the left side, and we'll check the measurement as Jackie Sherrill is interested. It's going to be short. Passing for A&M, they are 5 for 12 for 40 yards. Stump 1 out of 1. Less than a yard. Now Craig Stump's career this year has gone up and down. He started the season, lost his spot, went down to really as far as 3rd string, and now back in key situations here. Gurley and Horton, Brian Ross, the quarterback Stump. Whoop, left side jumping. That'll be 5 yards on a tough situation for a 5-yard penalty. 3rd and about 6 inches.
And that sure changes it from 3rd and where you could have just fallen forward for the first down. You're going to have 3rd and 6 now.
Tight end Wally Hartley jumped on the left side, and so now we'll have more substitutions into the lineup because now we get into a passing situation.
Well, the short yardage team comes out. Usually the 2 tight ends, you take that 2nd tight end out, make some changes. Jackie's pleading his case to that official, but to no avail.
3rd down and 5. In motion is Oliver. Stump. Complete. But is inbound. Yes, he is inbound.
Well, I think the official will have to rule But he was driven out of bounds by the defensive players if he didn't come down. They hit him right on the sideline and drove him out of bounds. Let's take a look at it. Here he's rolling out to his right. There's the pass to Oliver. Oh, he even got his feet down. His feet were down inside anyway. But that would have been
Sherrill officiating.
Well, yeah, he needs to help the officials. But that would have been one of those that the officials could have legitimately said the defensive player forced him to go out of bounds.
Yeah, he came down anyway. So it's first down. So Stump is hit on both now. And he's got his team up to the 37-yard line with wideouts on the left side and Harris on the right side as they've got a split backfield, more of a passing lineup. And he's going to do it. Ooh! Incomplete, but almost picked off. It was intended. Well, Eric Whitted almost got to it. It was actually intended for number 84, Gary Kostar. Tried to thread the needle and almost missed it.
Well, he tried to throw in his zone coverage, but he's looking to his left all the while. And while he's looking that way, those defensive players are moving to the ball. They converge. Almost got the interception.
Second down and 10.
Somewhere along the line, Stump's going to run a quarterback draw, go back there and come up through that middle. Looks like the middle's opening up a little bit when he goes back to pass out of that open formation.
Wide man left is Tony Thompson with Harris wide to the bottom of the screen. Stump on the option, cuts inside. He's got a first down and more across midfield down to the 42-yard line. Craig Stump. Ben Floor finally brought him down. The defensive back who covered the play, but not until Stump had rushed for what is now the longest gain, 21 yards.
This tackle opened it up as he came down the line of scrimmage. Now he does a good job of the open field, making a couple people missed. He picked up some yardage on his own on that play. Stump looks like he's saying, hey, I want this team to be a factor in the Cotton Bowl. I want to go back again.
And he wants to be the leader of this football team. First down and 10. Single setback. It goes to Gurley. He's got good yardage up front. Gurley gets about 8. Well, they've opened it up and widened it out, and Ricky Williams finally made the stop. And, of course, this is the Aggie offense that fans saw the last 2 or 3 years, or actually longer than that, but certainly when Murray was running the show, and they had an experienced passing quarterback.
That big offensive line now beginning to take charge at the line of scrimmage. That play, the last couple of plays, they just kind of fired out, blocked one-on-one, and moved Arkansas back off the line.
Collins and Lewis down in the backfield for Gurley and Woodside. Collins is number 32 in the fullback spot. The give instead goes to Lewis, and Lewis struggles forward to about the 31-yard line. Maybe not quite that far. He needs to get to the 31 for a first down.
That's going to be a big third down play now. Third and short yardage again. Third and about a yard.
It was a couple-yard gain. There you see the situation. James McCoy in on that stop. 2:14 remaining in the third quarter. 2 minutes and 10 seconds remaining in the third. The Aggies lead it 7-0, but the Aggies are threatening for the first time. We've seen an offensive drive.
This is the kind of situation where sometimes you can break one.
Craig Stump has led this offensive drive.
He's audible.
He goes to Gurley, and Gurley goes very little. He needed to get to the 31 for the first down. He might have that, but he does not have much more.
Official gave him a favorable spot.
Eric Whitted, the linebacker in the middle, made the tackle.
I think the official gave him a favorable spot, Greg, and I think he may have made this by, well, with the umpire. They're going to measure it. See him come down here now. He makes a little bit of a break to the outside right there. A little extra drive there.
Boy,
I tell you one thing.
From that angle, I don't think he should have made it.
Well, I think the official gave him a favorable spot. He was kind of maybe screened out a little bit on the side there.
Gurley has 31 yards on 9 carries. That's the most carries of any running back for A&M.
Whoop, forgot to unlock the chain over there. Now they're going to come in with it.
Got it tied up in the headset, the coach's headset.
Well, they didn't want him to get out there. Maybe they know it's a first down by a couple inches. It's going to be close.
It's a first down. By a couple inches. Yes, Ed, by a couple inches.
Well, here's the play. You see him come down through there. Now watch Woodard play off the block right there, play into the play, stand up the blocker. He made a great defensive play by Eric Woodard, the linebacker there. That was well played defensively by Arkansas. Boy, that's a close measurement on that spot. I mean, it's a close spot by the official. I think Arkansas may have gotten a break on that spot of the ball, Greg.
31-yard line, 1st and 10. Aggies have it with a single running back. That's Gurley. And he gets the call. He gains about 5. Up to the 26-yard line. Gurley just power running. Kerry Owens tripping him up.
Well, he did a good job of running. He just ran over one of the Arkansas defensive players. That Arkansas defensive player is still down on the ground right now.
It was a gain of 5, and it will be a 2nd down and 5. You know, talking about how young this Aggie team is, the 3 quarterbacks that they have used, 2 of them are only freshmen. Of course, Stump has been the most effective, so that kind of shoots down the theory that your young guys are really ready. But Richardson and Pavlis are both freshmen. The running backs, Melvin Collins and Gurley, who alternated fullback, they are juniors. The other running backs, Darren Lewis, a freshman. Larry Horton, a freshman. Flanker Gary Oliver is a freshman. Tony Thompson, backup out there, is a 2nd-year junior. They have a lot of young players in the skill positions.
Yes, they do. And, they're doing an outstanding job this year. I think they're probably doing a better coaching job this year than they did a year ago when they had all the talent.
They're going to be here for a while. Brian Ross, the backup tight end. Percy Waddle, a split end, is a sophomore. Rod Harris is only a junior. You get into the interior line, and you've got Lewis Cheek, a big tackle, who's a senior. Matt Wilson, the center, is a senior. And Tony Bartley out on right tackle. But Richmond Webb at left guard is just a sophomore. Jerry Fontenot is just a junior. So you've got, and then the backups. The backups are all underclassmen. In fact, freshman and sophomore running in the 2nd string, so they're getting some playing time. You're going to have to watch out for the Aggies for quite some time.
Well, it looks like Kerry Owens, the injured player.
Arkansas, on the other hand, as we pointed out, has some key seniors defensively. Tony Cherico in the middle is a senior, and Ricky Williams, we've talked about him a lot. He's a senior. Eric Whitted's a senior, and offensively it's the same. So this is really the year Arkansas needs to get it done.
My guess is on that play where Gurley ran it, he ran right over Kerry Owens there. He probably got either a thigh or a knee right to the chin or head area. Looks like he's going to be all right, coming around now pretty good. But, well, he was in the hole, and Gurley just ran over him and picked up that extra yardage on that previous play. He'll be all right.
He'll also be one of the Razorbacks back. He's just a junior as he takes a walk to the far sideline.
Yeah, he's kind of out in space now. Space calling Earth. Space calling Earth. What hit me?
1 minute and 6 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. It's the Aggies 7, Arkansas nothing. 2nd down and 5 for the Aggies on the Arkansas 26. Craig Stump has led the drive. Total ball control in this period. Gurley, 1st down inside of the 15-yard line. A gain of 11 for Gurley, who is taking charge, with Stump handing it off. Eric Bradford making the stop.
And I think what you're seeing is the extent of a team being on the field an awful long time. The defense is getting a little bit tired. They ran right at the play where Kerry Owens should have been, took him out. They ran the play right in that particular hole. I think the fact that the Arkansas defense has spent so much time on the field, they may be getting a little bit tired here.
Total yards at this point, A&M 90, Arkansas -7. Arkansas still looking for points, and the Aggies looking for more. 1st and 10 on the 15. And he's got the 1st down, or I'm sorry, he got across the 15-yard line, a 3-yard gain.
That probably could very well be the last play in the 3rd quarter. Got 20 seconds, 19 left on the scoreboard clock now. They may just want to come on down the end of the field. They're going to come on down the end of the field and let the clock run out.
Those statistics we gave you were just for this quarter, but Arkansas has hardly had the football. As we reach the end of quarter number 3, no scoring, but dominance by the Aggies. 4th quarter action is coming up, 7-0, Texas A&M on Home Sports Entertainment.
Football games are won or lost by technique. Now, for the first time ever, Coaches Video Network is offering your son an opportunity to learn winning techniques from the nation's top college coaches with these unique videotapes, which feature coaches from Nebraska, Notre Dame, Baylor, Louisiana State, Louisville, the University of Oklahoma, Clemson, Arkansas, and UCLA. Each tape focuses on one key position and breaks it down, covering basic techniques, advanced creative moves, and important mental aspects of the game. These tapes were designed to help your son become a better athlete and more effective at his position. What better gift can you give your son than the chance to learn from the experience of these major college coaches? Choose from defensive middle guard, defensive ends, strength training, receivers, quarterbacks, offensive line, the defensive secondary, linebackers, offensive backs, or the mental game. Whether the football season is beginning or has started to wind down, your son's future is just starting. Videotapes from Coach's Video Network are an investment in his future. To order, call 1-800-323-7039 or send check or money order for $39.95 plus $3.50 shipping and handling per tape to Coach's Video Network, Box 33010, Tulsa, Oklahoma 74153. In Oklahoma, call 918-250-6700.
Live on Home Sports Entertainment, Wednesday 5th at 8 o'clock, right here from College Station. That and a lot more will burn down. That's right. It's the Aggie Bonfire, our second annual coverage of that in cooperation with KAMU TV, Channel 15 here in College Station. That'll be even bigger than it is, and it'll burn, and it's really great, Dad.
Greg Lucas will be our host. Some people host beauty shows and beauty pageants. Greg Lucas is our bonfire host.
Yeah, Bob Powell and I will be here, and we'll be having a lot of fun. That's the 25th.
That really is quite an affair, isn't it?
Well, the spirit that you can see in the stands right now just overflows at that point. You look at the stands right now across the way, and it kind of makes you dizzy because of the way the crowd is weaving.
Makes it look like the stadium is rolling.
In the game, A&M has 155 total yards, Arkansas 45. Both have had the ball almost the same number of plays. A&M 46 plays and Arkansas 40.
Well, Arkansas right now, Greg, needs a break. They need a penalty or A&M to make a fumble. I don't think that their defense will be able to stop them without some kind of break here at the start of this fourth quarter.
Craig Stump is the quarterback. He's got a second down and 8. He needs to get to the 5 for a first down. The give to the freshman running back, Lewis, and he gets nowhere. He stacked up actually a loss on the play. David Shell, from Albuquerque, New Mexico, senior tackle, making the tackle. And so Lewis actually loses a little bit.
A little bit of break, that third quarter break, they've given Arkansas a chance to get a little second wind here. They got some penetration and made the play right in the backfield there. Even though he did make the tackle, he was there to stack things up. David Shell got the penetration, didn't get credit for the tackle, but he caused the play.
Whithead was in there as well. It is a third down and 9. Fourth quarter just underway. Stump. Complete at the 5 for a first down. A great play by Harris. Rod Harris, the junior from Dallas Carter, kept those tippy toes inbound.
Well, but a great pass by Stump, though. What a throw. He went back in the pocket and set up and drilled that ball. He threw off that front foot. Look at the tight spiral on that ball. Harris caught it. But, boy, what a job of Stump throwing the ball and getting it there.
Exactly in the spot it had to be. Here it is again. Look at the perfect execution.
Just a great job. And, of course, good field presence by Harris there to keep those feet in bounds.
Anthony Cooney was nearby, but he couldn't stop it. Stump now has hit 3 out of 4 for 26 yards. It's first and goal from the 4. Nowhere to go for Gurney. Gurley now has pretty much getting the call on all these short yardage plays, and Arkansas was ready for it. Shell made the initial hit with Cherico helping out. It'll be a second down and goal from the 4.
Look for Stump to run some kind of option. Look for Daylight himself. I think Stump wants to take charge. He knows he's a senior. He knows he's a veteran out there. Look for him to run some type of action on this play and look for Daylight to step up through there. Ken knows Coach Hatfield knows they're in trouble now if A&M gets on the board.
Ball on the 3. Stump rolls left, looks in the end zone, floats it up, and it's incomplete. No flags, no. The intended receiver lost his balance and fell. And so the pass was overthrown, as it turns out. It is third and goal from the 3. Ricky Williams was there. You know, this is an awfully big play for the Aggies. They've had some scoring opportunities, 2 field goals that were not long field goals that they missed. And here, they don't want to kick a field goal. They had first and goal from the 4. So they've, you know, this is a big play.
You can see the receiver Hartley, who stumbled and fell down there. I think they're going to take a timeout. They were trying to make a decision here. This is a tough call from the coach's standpoint. Do you want to be conservative and give yourself a chance to get that field goal in a close ball game like this. That 3 points could be just as big as a touchdown. So I really want to kind of talk things over here, and Jackie himself will make this decision. He'll listen to his assistants, but he will finally make the decision himself.
More action on Home Sports Entertainment. We've told you about the Rockets. We've told you about the Spurs. And, of course, Dallas area fans see the Mavericks. The Mavericks take on the Los Angeles Clippers Wednesday, November 18th at 7:30. Then the Mavs take on the Detroit Pistons. The only time this year the Pistons are in town with Isaiah Thomas and company, Wednesday, November 25th at 7:30. And then it is Michael Jordan's only regular season appearance, Friday night, November 27th, also at 7:30. That's for the Dallas area only, Dallas-Fort Worth markets, and that's Maverick basketball on HSE, your home court advantage.
A lot of talking going on that sideline right now. Coach Hatfield, as I said earlier, knows right now that if they get points on this drive, it's going to be a tough fourth quarter for Arkansas.
73,511, which is actually more than the listed capacity. They've gotten more than that in here because for the Texas game, quite often they can put on auxiliary bleachers in one open end zone. But 73,511 more than the listed capacity of over 72,000. So it's a big one and a big crowd. Craig Stump now on 3rd and goal. Looks to the corner, but touchdown! He found his man, Gary Oliver, the freshman redshirt, and the Aggies score from the offensive set for the first time, and there's a flag down after the celebration in the end zone.
Well, the freshman redshirt has made a couple bad plays this year, or this game. He's dropped the ball, but he made a big catch there. It's going to be a penalty against the Aggies for celebrating in the end zone.
So the Aggies lead 13-0 with the extra point coming. And a penalty will be tacked on the...
Stump really drilled this football in there, and a good catch by Oliver. He reached out and used those hands on that play. Good concentration. Excellent play by that freshman from Breckenridge.
We'll have the shift here. Slater gets set for the extra point. The penalty will be assessed on the kickoff. Well, they said it was on the defense. So it was not celebrating in the end zone. It'll still be assessed on the kickoff. It'll just be the other direction.
Well, we didn't see that, did we?
May have said something.
Gosh
darn, or something like that. Slater's extra point kick is good. 78-yard drive, 16 plays, 13:28 or 13:23 on the clock, and it's 14-0. The Aggies lead Arkansas, and of course, it was bleak enough for Arkansas, trailing 7-0 because their offense has done absolutely nothing. But as Ed has pointed out repeatedly, it still only means one mistake and one big play, and you can tie. Now they're going to have to do something on their own.
Now this is kind of a situation where it makes it very difficult for a team that uses this flex bone. They're not used to passing the ball, and A&M, with their stunning and blitzing, they're probably going to be all over that quarterback if they're forced to pass. Now, they will have to go to screens in draws. I don't think they'll have any success at all by sitting back in the pocket-type passing attack or even rolling out, because the Aggie defense just gives a passing team too many problems.
There you see Oliver, the man who got the touchdown reception, the only scoring play from an offensive set in this football game, as Rod Harris ran a punt return back 66 yards for the other score in the opening quarter.
Well, I think they'll kick this one through the end zone. You'll obviously see this one go. I don't think you'll see him try to do anything funny here. I think A&M will be well satisfied to give him the ball on the 20-yard line to start the drive.
Well, they're kicking from midfield with the wind behind him. He'll kick this in the end zone without even trying. Lane Talbot to kick off. So the 12th men really are only going to get a little exercise running a sprint. That's about all. Unless he mishits it. And he didn't. So Arkansas will get the ball on their own 20-yard line, and they're going to have to show their fans and a crowd of 73,511 in this stadium that they've got an offense, because it has not been in evidence today. Scoring drive was a nice, consistent long one, and of course the only scoring drive of the game. 16 plays. That's forever in this football game. 78 yards, 6 minutes and 40 seconds of ball control, and Craig Stump led it all the way. Quinn Grovey stays in at quarterback. Greg Thomas, coming off an ankle injury or shoulder injury, started the game but couldn't go, and they have used a total of 4 quarterbacks. Basil Jackson coming through on the short game.
And there's a penalty down at the bottom of that flag, too.
Jackie Shrell says, take it.
Oh, just what Arkansas needed. First down and 10 and get a holding penalty when you're behind 14-0. This has not been their day. Let's give the A&M defense a lot of credit for that, though.
Holding. Offense. First down.
To run a successful flex bone or wishbone, you've got to have one heck of an offensive line. They've got to really move people around, and Arkansas has not been able to do that at all. It has been the defensive line of Texas A&M and the linebackers that has done the moving.
Well, the quickness has moved right around here. You're talking about big offensive linemen now. Right guard Childress is 350 pounds, and Beckett is 270 pounds, and Stinton is over 300 pounds. They may be too big their offensive line, Greg.
Maybe. First down, 20. A very short game. Joe Johnson coming through from the linebacker. And nothing really to speak of for Barry Foster. Barry, a freshman. Second down, 18. We'll call it a 2-yard gain. This is where all the sideline second guessers have a field day. The fact that Arkansas does not throw the ball, because maybe asking a lot to pick up a first down on 2nd and 18, but running plays consistently that haven't been working is something that just the life of the flexbone coach, I guess. Joe Johnson again making another stop for short yardage. Van Dyke.
Gain of 3 yards on the play, ball at the Arkansas 15.
So they've averaged 1.1 yard per play, Arkansas, in this game. There's Thomas, the starting quarterback, who did start.
Yeah, that's a big disappointment for a senior like that. Getting injured and having a struggle, and now he knows what the score is right now in the situation.
And again, the Razorbacks, who were favored to win the Southwest Conference, as the give inside or the keep inside by Grovey gets him only back to the original line of scrimmage, where it is now 4th and 10. Basil Jackson and Joe Johnson, the backup linebackers, making the stop. And the crowd here on its feet as once again the Arkansas Razorbacks have nothing going for themselves.
Oh, they've just done a great job defensively. They've had them well scouted. They've just every way Arkansas tried to go, they've just were standing there waiting for them. Looks like they may attempt to go after another one.
Harris is back. They send one man from the outside. Harris is going to have to let that one bounce, and it takes a A&M bounce, and it's down just shy of midfield, where the Aggies will have the ball at their own 49-yard line. Barry Foster came through to down the ball. 30-yard punt.
A 31-yard punt with no return.
We'll be back with more action with 11 minutes and 3 seconds to go in the game. Texas A&M 14, Arkansas nothing on HSE.
This Bud's for all that you do. Hard work is nothing new. You're part of the team, the American dream, a dream that's coming true, and you'll make America work. And this Bud's for you. Whatever you do, the king of beers is coming through, so you make America work, and this Bud's for you.
Old Mother Hubbard ran to the cupboard to get her poor dog a bone, and when she got there, the cupboard was bare, so she decided to run some more. Join us Sunday, December the 6th, for the first annual Mother Hubbard 5K Fun Run and help feed the hungry. It starts at 2:30 at Rice Stadium, with proceeds benefiting the Houston Metropolitan Ministries food pantries. Anyone can enter, and it's $10 well spent. So join us Sunday, December the 6th, for the first annual Mother Hubbard 5K Fun Run and help feed the hungry.
Be there! Come on, Billy!
Greg Lucas back along with Ed Biles at Kyle Field, 14-0. A&M over Arkansas. A&M has the ball on their own 49-yard line, first down. Stump on the handoff. Howard driving leg drive. Ricky Williams runs into that Matt Gurley was applying. Gurley has had a good, strong game using his power.
Yes, he has. And the Aggies are going to work on that clock now, Greg, to keep it running and keep working that running game. Is going to be extremely difficult for Arkansas to hang tough in there now. This is the kind of situation where you may see the Aggies break a play out for a pretty good gainer on a running play. You can start missing tackles at this stage of the game by just being a little bit tired and being a little bit emotionally down.
A give into the Woodside, and the actually line up in the tailback spot for short yardage. Tony Cherico making the stop. Still short of the first down. He gained about 4. It will be a 3rd down and perhaps 3. Arkansas will be off next week. They would like to have been off this week and played this game next week. Then they'll host New Mexico on November 28th, and they've got a final game in Hawaii.
Doesn't make any difference. If they lose this one, they are out of the Cotton Bowl picture.
That's right, because of Texas's win today, and now Arkansas loses this game, they're out of the picture. The Aggies and Texas would still be very much alive. 3rd down and 3. First down, Gurley to the 27-yard line.
There might have been a fumble, though, at the end of the play.
I think there was, but let's see if they're going to turn it over. They did. They turned it over to Arkansas.
Officials were in there to talk whether he was down or not.
One official already made the call. Eric Whitted recovered it, and it is going to be a turnover. And here we'll see it.
Take a look when we get on Cherico. Look at the double team block with the center coming off into him, and then Darwin comes in and picks him up all by himself to open up that hole. There's the fumble.
Yeah, Bradford stripped it, and then it looked as though Eric Whitted fell on it.
Take a look at the wrap-up job that they did. Matt Wilson did on Cherico there, though. He got him going in the direction he was moving. He was moving his left, and Wilson just took him that way.
Well, that's the first turnover that the Aggies have suffered, but it's not in good field position, and that was a very poor pass. Tim Horton was the intended man from Quinn Grovey's throw. It may have been deflected at the line. 2nd down and 10.
No, I think it just rolled off his fingertips. It looked like as soon as he threw the ball, he reached for his one finger there, knew that he was wide open. I think it was just a poorly thrown ball.
For the game, Arkansas 0 for 2 passing.
I think that fumble's the first real turnover we've had in this game.
And it was in a position on the field that it isn't going to immediately hurt, or we would think not, although, again, the Aggies were driving to maybe some more points. They've had opportunities to score quite a few more than their 14. Grovey completes the ball for a 1st down. It was picked off by Derek Russell. Gary Jones on the hard hit. First pass completed here. With 9 minutes and 22 seconds left. First completion for Arkansas. 1st down.
Well, you see him come down the line like he's going to run the option, but all the wide receiver did was go down to the inside, pitch and catch. And you'll see him probably attempt to do that quite a bit now, but the A&M defensive backs will play just the least bit conservative with this 14-point lead. They don't want to give Arkansas a quick touchdown.
They chip it up and down the field. It'll take a lot of time. There's the quarterback change. Jim Simpson now in again. Looks left. Gonna throw it deep. He's got a man. He's got a completion. Tim Horton on a diving catch across the 40 to the 38-yard line.
Boy, Greg, Tim Horton did a great job on that play. He came down, looked like he was going to go to the center of the goalpost, and then made a break back to the outside. He turned Alex Morris everywhere but loose on this play. He came down, went to the post. Now he breaks back to the outside. You see him making his move going back to the outside here. And Morris, of course, was about 8 yards away from it. Good shot that way. Just take a look at him in the end zone. Maybe we can see how far Morris is off of him. See how far Morris is off of him? Morris took the bait that he was going to go to the middle. He went back to that corner.
That was a 23-yard gain, longest of the game for Arkansas. Now Quinn Grovey is back in at quarterback. And his give inside for good yardage goes to Sammy Van Dyke. Alex Morris finally brings him down, about an 8-yard gain. Well, Arkansas has come alive a little bit here. And there's plenty of time with 8 minutes and 22 seconds to go. And what's more important, I guess maybe they develop a little confidence. Even if this is being caused in part by A&M playing them defensively a little bit differently, it still would increase one's confidence, the fact that it's working. Van Dyke 21 yards on 6 carries. Grovey stays in at quarterback. Rouse, 1st down, cuts inside to the 23-yard line.
Well, it's interesting with a couple completed passes how that has loosened up the defense a little bit. Defense thinking pass, thinking about rushing the quarterback, getting some pressure. And all of a sudden, Arkansas a couple of successful running plays.
Basil Jackson making that stop, but it's a first down inside the 15, or rather inside the 25 at the 24-yard line.
Take a look at this now. A little counter play. They started like the line was going to the right. Now they run it back to the left. Little counter action play. A&M went for the fake.
First and 10 to give it. Rouse fakes out, cuts inside, gets down to the 20-yard line. A pickup of 4. The outside was covered. He made a quick move. Aaron Wallace finally making the stop. It'll be second down and 6. 7.5 minutes left in the game. 14-0 A&M.
Well, watch for A&M to come for the blitz on this play.
Coming out wide to the bottom of the screen, already out of the huddle, is Tim Horton, as you see Derek Russell conferring with Ken Hatfield. Still in the flex bone or formation with one wide receiver. Grovey, the quarterback, gives it inside. Van Dyke, very close to another first down. He needed to get to the 14, and he may have it. Chet Brooks making the stop.
Just straight ahead play now. The line's blocking 1-on-1 coming off. Now there's a little opening in there. He did a good job. Van Dyke did a good job of picking it. And of course, when he got down to that area, he went forward with a good body lean to pick up the extra yardage.
Did you see Freddie Childers just squashing the man that he had to block?
Why are they measuring this? It's short by 3 inches, Greg.
Oh, okay. You should have quit while you were ahead. It's short, but
6 inches. Well, that's a foot.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Bad angle from up here.
No, you are farther away here than you were at the Astrodome. It's 14-0 A&M with 7:03 left. Now that run, number 72, Freddie Childers, just flat out obliterated the man he was blocking on the right side. Here it is now, 3rd and short. Grovey gives it to Van Dyke. First down for the Arkansas Razorbacks as Van Dyke gets up to about the 13. Aaron Wallace stops him. Of course, this is taking some time. 6 minutes and 48 seconds. However, you got to remember that Arkansas's defense has been just a shade less effective than the Aggies. So you have to have confidence in your defense if you're Arkansas.
And their defense has gotten some rest while their offense has moved the ball this drive, which will help them a little bit.
First down. Rouse dumped just across the 10-yard line at the 9. Joe Johnson played quite a bit at the linebacker spot. Wasn't actually listed on the 2 deep coming into the play this week, but he's been in quite a bit in the second half. There's the play coming in from Tim Horton, the sophomore from Conway, Arkansas. And Derek Russell takes his place on the side. He'll bring in the next play. Again, Grovey stays in at quarterback. Second down, 8.
Sooner or later, they got to throw a play-action pass.
Option, Grovey. He's got some room to cut inside, but very little as he gets down to about the 7-yard line. Maybe a gain of 2. Basil Jackson and Sammy O'Brien were in on that stop. Third down.
Well, Sammy O'Brien has made a lot of tackles for a nose guard. People can't appreciate how tough it is for a nose guard to be in on this many plays because he's usually getting double-teamed all the time.
Well, especially this far out on the wing.
Right, coming right down that line of scrimmage. That's good hustle and good pursuit by him.
Arkansas, in this half, has 4 first downs. They will have 2 cracks at number 5 here. 3rd down and 5. Mix-up. Grovey pitches back. Fumble! It is the Aggies football, yes. That was recovered. Sammy O'Brien made the hard hit, and it was picked off by Mickey Washington, who claimed it. And now what do we have? We have a sideline confrontation here. Yeah, there's a flag down. It was over on the Aggie sideline. And maybe something Mickey Washington did after he recovered the fumble.
I think he called a dead ball foul.
Because the coaches were talking to Mickey on the sideline.
I think he called it a dead ball foul.
Yeah, that would mean the recovery would hold up.
Yeah.
See if we can see it.
Yeah, let's see what happens. Here he comes down line. Good penetration right there, which forced him to go back deeper than he wanted to go. Now he has to gamble and make the pitch. He makes a poor pitch. Ball rolls around loose. Washington up to make the play on the pitch man. Now recovers the ball. It looks like maybe the penalty is going to be against A&M the way things are going out there now. Good play.
Yeah, let's see. What do we...
So I thought he's called a dead ball foul. I was reading lips.
Yeah, his mark went out, but you can see what the deal was. Alex Morris and Aaron Wallace really came in there and...
Well, it's going to be A&M's ball from that standpoint. That's they still hang on the ball.
Yeah. It was little exuberance by Morris and Wallace, but as you can see, it's going to be set back on the 7. And the Aggies will retain possession. Here comes Stump now in from the sideline.
Well, of course, Arkansas came away from that empty-handed, and that really makes it a lot tougher now. With 5 minutes to go, they're going to be conservative in their own backyard here to let the clock run, and even if they're forced to punt, they know Arkansas still has to score 2 touchdowns.
Gurley again has an opening, and again muscles forward across the 15 to the 18. Pickup of about 10. Otis Lloyd on the stop.
Well, just man on man, he does a good job of cutting it back and looking for daylight. He started to his left and came back all the way to the right side. But again, this is a little situation where they're going to pick up some yardage here, Greg, but Arkansas's defense has played well. They're just running out of steam right now.
Second down, 6. 3 wideouts, the I formation behind Stump. Inside 5 minutes. They give again to the tail. Not much going across the 20-yard line as Woodside had to carry. Wayne Martin making the stop. Wayne out of Cherry Valley, Arkansas. Now timeout. Officials timeout. Looks like we may have an injury. Gurley, the fullback, is shaken up.
Looks like it might be up in there. And he's coming off gingerly.
3rd down and 2. Closer to 3. We'll call it 3rd and 3. And time of possession in this half, deceivingly close. Arkansas has held on to the ball 12 minutes and 19 seconds to A&M's 12:25. But A&M has the only score of the half. Of course, Arkansas on that last drive is what pumped up their time of possession. But they got no points out of it as the clock continues to tick.
Oh, I think A&M's defense and their special teams have been the key to this ball game.
Arkansas will, with a couple of victories in their remaining games, still certainly be going to a bowl. There's a gain inside by Darren Lewis, but not enough for the first down. Ricky Williams making the stop. It's just that Arkansas does not look like they are going to go cotton bowling. They, coming into this game, had 7 wins, and they have an excellent chance of winning 9 simply because of who they have left on the schedule. And that'll get them into a bowl, certainly, but they've had some disappointments in big games. Certainly their Miami game was a disappointment, their non-conference game, and this was the game they had to win. And
of course, their fans follow them, so the Bulls are really interested in.
That's right. Stump gets the kick away under a little bit of pressure. And it will be taken by Horton. And he runs out of bounds, and so it'll be a first down for Arkansas with the clock down to 3:36. 14-0 the Aggies. We're in the final period on Home Sports Entertainment.
A moment in history. Brought to you by the Houston Astros.
Everybody in the dome is standing. 0-2. Strike called. 16 strikeouts. Whoa, what a night for Nolan Ryan.
Buy your 1988 Astros season tickets by Thursday, December 10th, and get another piece of history. 1987 prices. Call Astros season ticket services at 799-9567 or visit them at the Astrodome Westgate B.
You wouldn't believe how far away that camera is that is shooting us, Ed, but We are midway up the stadium here at Kyle Field, and we've been catching a pretty good bird's eye view of the defensive struggle that we've had. And there you see roughly, we're in that center level there under the big area.
Oh, that's a great place to work the ball game and view the ball game, Greg, from up here, though.
Gurley has 80 yards, Arkansas 80 yards. And Gurley has got most of his here in the second half. And again, another quarterback switch. This is Simpson. Arkansas has used 4 people at quarterback. Simpson, Greg Thomas started. Grovey's played most of the game. Terry Price making the stop on that play. Simpson came in as the 3rd quarterback, and John Bland has even seen some snaps. Not too many times you'll see 4 quarterbacks in a game.
Well, and they're forced to pass the ball now. They can't waste much time running now, so they're going to have to put the ball up in the air, and A&M blitz is going to give them problems.
Simpson apparently the man who's got the arm they want to have in there, and that shows why as he completes the ball out to let's see, that's number 95, Mickey Washington making the stop on Jim Kessinger, a 6'4", 218-pound senior from Fort Campbell, Kentucky, who was born in Italy.
Yep, moves around quite a bit.
Well, born, hometown Fort Campbell, Kentucky, that tells you one thing, military.
Right.
And born in Italy kind of helps, too. 2 minutes and 53 seconds left. Kessinger looks left, looks right, in trouble, sack. Back to the 45-yard line, a loss of 5. And down on the very bottom of that pile is guess who? John Roper.
Well, the thing about it, they only had 2 receivers out again on this pass, and the Aggies covered them well. And finally, your protection is going to break down. They're going to have to give a little thought, I'm sure, in this offseason. Coach Hatfield will give some thought to this passing game. I just don't know that they can play quite as conservative. They're going to have a little more of a passing game to...
Whoops, another sack. Blasting through was Alex Morris.
Oh, that's a defensive back blitz, cornerback's blitz. And we said this earlier, Greg, a non-passing team, when they have to get in this situation, they're not used to picking up blitzes. They don't have enough time spending working on people moving around. And when you start sending linebackers and mixing up their assignments, they're so used to blocking and going straight ahead that the offensive line just has to sit back. Again, you see Roper coming around on a split play. They had the defensive end coming inside, but they ate up 3 players there. Morris was coming from the outside to make the play. So they had number 90 O'Brien was going to the outside, and he was supposed to come off of it. That's how you give teams problems up there with their front. But if 2 people can eat up 3, now those cornerbacks and other linebackers come free on those blitzes.
This has been a very, very impressive defensive performance by the Aggies. They have allowed no points. They have allowed only 1 threat.
Well, they got to play TCU next week and then Texas, and they've got a chance at the Cotton Bowl to repeat.
Well, you have to think that, the way they've played with their defense. And, if they get Craig Stump back on track, he gives them the passing. Arkansas has not passed and passed well, but really until Stump came into the game, neither did A&M. And they have not gotten great passing from either of Pavlis or Richardson. Richardson's been a runner, and Stump, of course, is not a runner, but they've got some runners. They've got drop-back plays in their arsenal. They've got split backs in their arsenal. All they've got to do is get a guy who can execute them, and maybe he's the man. 3rd down and long. Simpson, he's got a man, and he got a completion, but it's short to the 1st down as he nailed that pass on target to Tim Horton, and Tony Jones nailed Tim Horton.
Yeah, but I think with it being 4th down, they're going to go for it, even though they're just at the 45-yard line. They're going to be forced to go for it, probably call a timeout, and think about the play they want to call.
They only got a minute 43 left. There's no question they have to go for it. They have nothing to lose.
He had fairly good protection that time and had a chance for the receiver to get himself open. Came back to catch the ball up the defensive back a yard. So one of the keys to good receivers is come back towards the ball.
Meanwhile, down on the field, we've had a personal foul, possibly an ejection. Jackie Sherrill having a conference there with Chet Brooks. The flags did fly, and we'll wait for the official announcement. I think Chet may have been bumped out. Lafayette Turner's getting set. Well, no, they didn't send him in. Now Lafayette Turner's going in, and he is the backup. They have yet to make the announcement. It's 4th down and 6.
Yeah, they set Leon Cole, another fresh defensive lineman in there now. Well, when you get them fresh defensive linemen coming after you and linebackers blitzing and tired offensive linemen, this is really a tough time for a team to pass.
Arkansas has averaged 2.3 yards per play.
Yeah, the officials over there explaining to Coach Hatfield what happened. Could have been one of those, maybe it could have been a double ejection. Who knows, Greg? I think will tell us here in a minute.
Want to thank John Keith and Alan Cannon of the Sports Information Office here of Texas A&M for helping a great deal, and Rick Schaefer of the Arkansas.
Dead ball foul. Dead ball personal foul by the offense. Dead ball personal foul for the defense. The tip will offset, and it'll be fourth down.
Well, it didn't say anything about throwing anyone out, but we did see that Chet Brooks came out of the game. He may have just been pulled out by his coach. Again, we want to thank all of the folks, Rick Schaefer and his assistant Bill Rogers, along with Alan and John, for helping us prepare for this broadcast. And again, a reminder, next week we'll wrap up the Southwest Conference season on HSE with Baylor and Texas. The Longhorns have to keep winning. And Baylor, well, they'll be at home hoping for an upset. 1 minute and 43 seconds left. Fourth down. That's it. Turn it over as Aaron Wallace with another outside linebacker sack. And it is the Aggies football. They'll run out the clock. Arkansas has no timeouts left. We have 1:38 to play.
Well, you see him coming with all the blitzes. You see the people blitzing, and you're just not used to it. And there he comes from the backside with those outside linebackers, blitzing them and bringing them. Roper and Wallace have been coming all year. Wallace going into this game had 7 sacks. Of course, he's added that total. Roper had 9 going in. We know he had 2 or 3. So, again, a big day for those outside linebackers. And again, Arkansas denied the opportunity to go to the Cotton Bowl.
10 quarterback sacks today. And the thing that's amazing about that, Ed, is not too many of them were when they were back to pass. I mean, they were sacking them on running plays. That was the impressive part of this defense.
Well, just a great defensive effort by the Aggies. And also, I think you got to go back to the early part of the ball game. You have a lot of credit to special teams. The punt return and the punt block kind of set the tone for the defensive aspect of the board and stayed that way for a good 3 quarters, a 7-0 football game.
A couple of the happy linebackers there, Roper and Wallace, have had games, both of them.
Well, Arkansas has no timeouts left, so...
That's right. Keys of the wrecking crew, as they like to call themselves. They have a little cap that many of them wear, and well, all of them wear on the defense. And there you see the clock. The wrecking crew did some wrecking here today. Craig Stump on the quarterback keep. 56 seconds and ticking.
Yeah, they're going to have to snap it at least one more time, and that may be the last time they have to snap it. The Arkansas out of timeouts.
In fact, that will do it. The 25-second clock has not started yet. Now it starts with 43 seconds left. So one more snap.
One more snap will do it.
And the Aggies stay alive, and very much disappointed, the fans of the Arkansas Razorbacks. Well, uneasy lies the head that is dubbed the favorite, and that's the situation that, that Arkansas found itself in when the season began. They could do nothing except not win. And as it turns out, they will not win the Southwest Conference or go to the Cotton Bowl as the clock is down to 10 seconds. A&M 212 yards unofficially, 125 for Arkansas. And I think that 125 is even higher than it might have seemed, but they had one long drive, and it's over. The final score, Texas A&M 14, Arkansas nothing. Ed Biles and I will be back with some final comments from Kyle Field after this on HSE.
Football games are won or lost by technique. Now, for the first time ever, Coach's Video Network is offering your son an opportunity to learn winning techniques from the nation's top college coaches with these unique videotapes, which feature coaches from Nebraska, Notre Dame, Baylor, Louisiana State, Louisville, the University of Oklahoma, Clemson, Arkansas, and UCLA. Each tape focuses on one key position and breaks it down, covering basic techniques, advanced creative moves, and important mental aspects of the game. These tapes were designed to help your son become a better athlete and more effective at his position. What better gift can you give your son than the chance to learn from the experience of these major college coaches? Choose from defensive middle guard, defensive ends, strength training, receivers, quarterbacks, offensive line, the defensive secondary, linebackers, offensive backs, or the mental game. Whether the football season is beginning or has started to wind down, your son's future is just starting. Videotapes from Coach's Video Network are an investment in his future. To order, call 1-800-323-7039 or send check or money order for $39.95 plus $3.50 shipping and handling per tape to Coach's Video Network, Box 33010, Tulsa, Oklahoma 74153. In Oklahoma, call 918-250-6700.
When I was doing cocaine, I got so selfish. I wish I didn't have no one, no kids, no parents, no people who loved me. I didn't care about nothing. That's how crazy it was. I just couldn't get enough. And you know what? Cocaine's not hip. It's hype. Anyone who tells you it's okay is a liar.
Call 1-800-662-HELP.
Greg Lucas led by us 14-0. The Yankees stay alive in the Cotton Bowl and Southwest Conference race. For Arkansas, it comes to an end. They cannot win it. A couple of things we were looking up during the break regarding the fact that this, we know the great defense that A&M has, but it's been a while since they last shut out Arkansas.
1956 to be exact. You got to go way back there to find where they shut them out. Just a great defensive football game from A&M's standpoint. Arkansas, the first 10 times they had their hands on the ball, they were forced to punt. You got to look at it just as a defensive win for A&M. Also give their special teams a lot of credit. That first punt return and the punt block early in the ball game really kind of put Arkansas in a hole the entire first. They never got out of it. It was really A&M all the way today.
Yeah, their defense was outstanding. Arkansas's was certainly not bad. Neither team had more than one drive when they moved the ball up and down the field. The difference was, of course, Arkansas had a fumble and didn't carry it into score. But it wasn't that Arkansas's defense had any problems. It's just that their offense never really, watching the game, you never really thought they were going to do anything.
Well, their defense never gave their offense any chance. I mean, they really played hard, but their offense never moved the ball, never did anything to give the defense any kind of lift. And I think A&M made a great move there when they inserted Stump into quarterback position. He put him in and he punted. Almost felt like he said, well, maybe this is his day. He put him in at the quarterback position. Combination of that change and the fact that I think Arkansas was tiring, Stump added a lot to the ball game.
That was really a key. Certainly Craig Stump probably has won back that job in that quarterback controversy as such with his performance today. We'll be back with some final thoughts. Again, the final 14-0. It was that happy man, Jackie Sherrill, and his team over Arkansas on HSE.
Hello, and welcome to our special guest, handsomely dressed in a raincoat, a fellow who truly leads a dog's life. Meet McGruff, the crime dog.
Thanks, Dick. It may be a dog's life, but I'm helping people take a bite out of crime.
Indeed you are. Now, do I understand that neighborhood watch programs have reduced crime in some areas as much as 50%?
That's right, but there's more to be done.
Well, tell me about it, which I'm sure he will.
You bet. Make sure your neighborhood has plenty of lights. Leave one on in your house at night, and remember, light a light to stop a thief.
Shady characters prefer the dark, eh?
You got it. Also, start a volunteer escort service for older folks.
Aha, good news for the old folks at home, eh? What about the young folks?
Start McGruff houses.
Which are?
Houses kids can duck into in case of trouble.
Terrific. Anything else?
Yeah, that's a nice jacket, Dick.
Oh, thanks, McGruff. Hey, and thanks for all you're doing. For more information, write to this address and help
take a bite out of crime.
The Texas A&M Aggies are still alive in the Southwest Conference battle for the Cotton Bowl as a result of a 14-0 shutout win over the Arkansas Razorbacks at Kyle Field. The executive producer on Home Sports Entertainment is Jack Stanfield. Director of Productions, John McIntyre. The technical director, Bill Roberts. And engineer in charge, Ken Nelson. Don't forget to check join us again next Saturday night for our next HSE telecast as the Texas Longhorns host the Baylor Bears. Now, this is Greg Lucas for Ed Biles and the entire HSE crew saying so long from College Station, where the final score, 14-0, the Aggies over the Razorbacks. This has been an exclusive presentation of Home Sports Entertainment. It's another big Sunday of sports action coming up tomorrow on HSE. We'll be on as usual earlier than during the week with action to satisfy just about any sports fan. Here on Home Sports Entertainment, where the tradition continues.
This concludes Home Sports Entertainment's broadcast schedule. We hope you've enjoyed this evening's programming and look forward to having you join us once again tomorrow for another look at some of the finest sports events in the Southwest. With HSE, you have the best seat in the house, your own living room. Ladies and gentlemen, Home Sports Entertainment wishes you a good evening.
To hear poison.